Hello, hello. Hey, Kevin. It's Friday. We are going to tackle some content and balance stuff. I am actually looking forward to today. I thought this task was going to be terrible, but it actually has been kind of fun. Yesterday, I did a bunch of random stuff. I don't even think I got done with a whole lot, but I did some things. In fact, actually, I should probably take a look at the PRs. We're up to 4 now. This one. What do we have here? Played with it for a while. I keep seeing issues with the font. I've opted for not using it for now. I will ask Quickie Joe's about it. Makes sense. Done. Also found out that Town Perks was positioned in front of in-game menu. Fix it. Oh, nice. Yeah, this was on my list. I I had this. Yeah, here. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, I think we should merge PRs first. It's gonna improve the styling in the game. Hope you're doing well, though, Kevin. And thank you for all the PRs you've been submitting. Opted to not use it for now. I wonder which font was this. It was this one. This one, this is a bad font anyway for numbers because of this. This 3 looks like an 8. And it's very hard to tell when it's a small font size. And the Diablo 2 font had this problem originally with 5 and 6, although I don't know if they've... Oh yeah, here we go. They actually have a picture about this. New 5, old 5. You could see this. It looks like plus 66%. And then they finally had to change the font just so that you could actually read the 5s. So yeah, this was always supposed to be temporary, I think. All right, so let's look through the, what were my suggestions? Yeah, just use a different font and make constants and then yeah, fix the other thing. Got it. Okay, hey Mystical Cell, how's it going? You gonna be here today or are you taking off in a bit? Have you sent some style changes we checked before? Yeah, and I think it'll be greatly appreciated by the player base too. I mean, I obviously appreciate it, but I am just one person. But now everyone who plays will also get to enjoy it. And I think they'll like it. All right, so how do I check changes in your last review? Can't do that. But I can apparently see this. It says hold shift to select a range, but what, how do you use this? What? I don't understand. I'm holding shift. Oh, there we go. That, I think. Yeah, it's just a weird UI. All right, so these should be the changes that we have here. Let's see. Town perks. Oh, this just moved it up. Oh my God. I should have done that when I created this originally. All right, well. Tooltip help text color name. I am fine with pretty much any name of a variable here. I just want to see if there is a comment. Tooltip table highlight color name. Yeah, this is all good. Yeah, there is no comment here. I think it could be helpful to say this is for like parenthetical text. I don't think it's super important. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'll be here today for this one. I'll be here for part of the one if there's a second stream today. Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, how's your Friday going, Mystical Cell? GHPR list. Check out. Oh, wait, we can't check out unless I stash this stuff. Git stash. GM will be coming back full time on December 4th. Nice. Yeah. Now they just need to fix the air conditioning. That is really good, though. And I hope it alleviates some of the just extra work you've had to do. Yeah, the way I look at it is that a constant certainly wouldn't hurt here. This is for parenthetical text, e.g. note. This will happen in a future version. Why did I put quotes there? The quotes go there. Okay, that's it. Add comment. Git push Kevin. Wait a second. This isn't your usual branch naming. Usually have I slash and then the issue number. I guess this didn't correlate to an issue. Okay. Everything else looked good. Yeah. Except for what's this stuff that changed here? Oh, a different font, right? Yep, cool. Cool. Yeah, no issues. Gotcha. There we go. And thanks for fixing the issue where the in-game menu was blocked. Bop, bop, bop. There. Okay. Next up is 431. Add stone graphics and update start instance theme. Added the new stone panel graphics. Updated the styling for start battle button and start instance to use them. Made into a theme. Also fixed the bug that would make the start battle button show up with the instance panel open. I don't... Oh, I do recall that. People commented on that in checkpoint 3, I think. Well, I never looked into it, so I'm curious what fixed this. I know that with this change, tooltips are a bit broken in the instance list since they take the black text color from the panel. 427 will fix it. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm focused on something right now, which is not super important, but how do I look at this in more detail? There should be a texture here, and there isn't. Unless it's a different stone graphic. Yeah, I think we were supposed to... Oh, maybe it is horizontally tiled. Like this one's got some texture, but it's just around the border, I guess. Kind of want that texture to be behind the whole thing. I want to look into that. Stone texture should possibly look more like stone throughout and not just on the border. Hey, yo, how you doing? Start battle. Okay, yeah, in general, this looks good. 19 files changed. Fancy stone.png. Whoa, that's loud. Hey, M2. Thanks for the resub. Happy Friday. Hope you're having a good one. Thanks for the resub. Yeah, so we added in all these graphics, and that's 2 times the number of graphics, which is, I think, 10 total. So there are 9 actual changes. No, maybe 12 total. Colors.dim gray, selection color. That's for the instance list. I think we should check this out and take a look. 431. Well, are you done, M2, for the day? Or do you have anything scheduled? I'm pretty happy to just be pushing toward checkpoint 4. Although next week, I don't want next week to feel like a scramble. But I've also been putting in a lot of extra time, and I don't want to burn out. So they're kind of 2 opposite forces right now. All right, this did not work because I didn't open up Godot. But now it should work. Windy, windy, windy. Wincy beard. Thank you for the raid. Hang on, I don't ever use the shout out command, and I need to. All right, there. Anyone who's watching me and doesn't watch Windy streams on bizarro hours. So it's currently 8:50 my time, and he ends at that time. Like, what's the matter with this guy? Hey, how's it going? Hey, it's going really well. How are you doing, Windy? How is your fantastic Friday going? How many have you like started Xing off days on the calendar yet? Because I did that back when I was working at Google. The last month, I was like, you know what? I'm going to draw X's on the calendar. And it was glorious. Actually, the problem with drawing X's on a calendar is that it makes you focus on how many more days you have until that thing is done. I guess if you're... Yeah, no. I guess it's probably never a good idea. But still, I did it. Anyway, hope your stream was good. We have some cool new... Look at this. Wait, no, you can't look at that. Hang on. Look at this. There's some cool new panels in the game. This is our stone texture, which I think we can make look a tiny bit more stone-like. And then this is the tooltip needing to be changed. Although we're going to probably restyle the tooltip too. Well, thank you, Wendy. Thank you. We have, oh, I didn't test that out. We have, we have to make some more buildings, I think. So one of the things we're working toward in the next week is getting it so that when you start the game, you can have a reasonable expectation that the game expected you to do certain actions right up until about maybe a couple hours or 3 hours in. So, I mean, that's generally balancing content, right? Imagine starting an RPG and you're level 1 and all the enemies are level 10. There's no expectation you can beat them. And you'd have to be like, okay, I get it. It's like a combat simulator right now. It's not really a game yet. Obviously, to make it feel like a game, you should be able to progress. And one of the things that I realized when I did a user research session last week is that if you split the game up into phases, let's say it's like each boss is a phase, or everything leading up to that boss is a phase, we'll probably have like 7 phases in the game. Of those, I think there should probably be like 4 to 5 distinct points in the town progression. And we have some of that so far. Like you start out and you just have one shop. Okay, it's like the tutorial. It's a basic town. That's your phase 1. So as far as I'm concerned, that's pretty much done. Phase 2, we also have a good amount of stuff for. That's where you're gonna get the town hall. That's where you're gonna get the warehouse, and I think you get something else. I forgot what. Oh yeah, the armor shop. It's like, okay, that's distinct. You can start modifying your town a little bit. Then phase 3, I think things need to open up even more. We'll give you the enchanter den, the vault, I don't know what else, some other stuff. And then that's it. We don't have anything else afterward. There's just no other buildings we can add because we'll have added them all. So we need to start planning some more buildings or more mechanics or ideas. And I've got some ideas. And we could go in kind of any direction with this. So just broad concepts of things that I've thought about here is some kind of farming, maybe some kind of like monster catching. Maybe we call this Pal World, for example. There could be some sort of like cooking, crafting, and none of these mean anything on their own. There's got to be a function to these things. So I was thinking something like cooking could be for stat modification, and crafting could be for better economy. And I don't know what these things would be for. Maybe farming feeds cooking, and this was just a random idea I had come up with. Always ready to inspire and support bad ideas. What's the moment-to-moment decision making like? This is a very laid-back game. So your moment-to-moment decision making is pretty much like, what's the next thing I want to buy? And how am I managing the sort of economy and selling throughput of the town? Because there aren't that many different actions you can even perform. So it's like you will choose what adventurers are battling where. So maybe you've got the mage fighting in the dungeon, and you've got these 2 adventurers fighting in the volcano, and you put these on repeat, and they're just battling there, and you're going to get some items out of the portal. Actually, they're going to go into here. And you're like, can I sell this many potions before the next battle starts? So things like that are going to be your decision making. You're going to kind of watch this play out for a bit. You're going to upgrade your adventures and pick skill points and stuff. I like it. I like it quite a lot. What did happen with the keyboard camera? Did this move? This should be pointed at the same thing. Huh. I didn't touch this. I can't get this to stay. Oh, come on. Yeah, it's very precariously balanced. By the way, thanks for pointing that out. I hadn't realized. All right, that's good enough. Hopefully that doesn't move. It's gonna move. So just let me know when it does. Yeah, anyway, so I got some general ideas for this stuff, and I think we're gonna need to test this. Maybe it means a checkpoint 5, although maybe that checkpoint 5 could only take a month to do. Who knows? Hey, Mua? Mua? Let me know how to pronounce your name. I've been considering getting into coding as a career, but I'm totally new and really nervous about the learning curve. Any words of encouragement? Yeah, I think in general, I think kind of anyone can learn to code. And I think that at first, just focus on, am I learning and am I having fun? And that's it. Don't worry about, can I do this as a career? How much more do I need to learn to do this? Just these two things. And the answer to both of these questions should be yes. So if it's not yes, then you got to find a way to make them be yes. And the am I learning parts are really easy to have it be a yes. It's just like learning anything else. But the am I having fun might be a little bit harder. Giuseppe, thanks for the resub. Welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah, the am I having fun? I think this generally comes down to pursue projects that you like. So it's not just learn a topic. It's oh, let's go make a tiny game, or let's go make a small website, or let's go make a whatever else, something. But typically it's got to be small. So yeah, do these two things. And then the other thing, I've got some advice here. Oh, Zaphoid, you too. Welcome back. And everyone's resubbing. Thank you. I suggest reading this blog post I made. The very short story, if you don't want to read the whole thing, is try not to overanalyze. I know you just said you struggle from that. This blog post may convince you that you should not overanalyze. So yeah, I recommend reading that. Also, highly advise ignoring all the posts and people talking about AI makes coding and programmers a dead career path. I see a lot of people that get discouraged by that. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that let's say AI did kind of snuff out a whole bunch of jobs. If it snuffs out coding, then it's probably coming for all of the other jobs afterward. And I know it can help coding probably more than it can help, like, I don't know, building a skyscraper in a city. But it'll eventually build a skyscraper in a city too. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. Got an interest for technical stuff, otherwise I'll have a hard time. I think that interest doesn't need to be very large though. Like, okay, I'm gonna share a stupid analogy here, but Harry Potter. When I read this when it first came out, I always thought Harry's an idiot. If I were in this world, I'd be doing every single thing in my power to make sure I'm the best stupid wizard alive. I'm like, why is Harry not studying more? Why is he not like better at being a wizard? And the analogy here is I feel like coding is essentially equal to magic here. And we live in the real world, and you can sort of improve your magic ability by studying more coding and whatever else you want to do. So I guess I kind of look at it that way. Like, you can always keep incrementing on your knowledge, and you can keep learning a little bit more about coding, about design, about testing, about how to structure software. Take care, Windy. Take care, mate. Does it sound weird when an American says mate? There's several things happening when you code. A large structure, which is important to learning programming, and a small structure, which is almost effortless to learn which word does what. A lot of beginners have to figure it out as they go. I think if you mean by figure it out, you mean that's just the learning process. I think I generally agree. If you mean that you have to sort of wing it when it comes to learning, that I wouldn't agree with. Because I think there are lots and lots of resources out there. Like any tool, the better you are at using it, the more powerful you become. If you're good at coding, you'll be better at instructing a future coding AI. Yeah, that's true too. Plus, like I said, what universe do we live in if coding is obsolete? So, yeah. Don't you hate it when you say I have to go and then the streamer just keeps talking to you? So, Wendy, what do you have planned for this weekend? I'm kidding. If you're still here, please leave. Please never come back. All right, let's see what we got. Yeah, so I guess the summary of everything I just said is I'm Harry Potter and deal with it. This is interesting. It didn't just set these numbers to 0 and it instead took up an extra however many bytes in a text file. I don't really care, but it is funny. Hey, who cares? Sleeping. I hope the sleep is good. That means that many resources are geared toward explaining as little as possible to keep things simple. Oh, I see what you're saying. I think some languages made it a little bit harder. Like if you're using Java, you have a public static void main somewhere. And telling a programmer what does this stuff mean when you haven't even learned about a variable is really difficult. So it's like, well, let's just skip over this for now and just focus on the, the whatever it is, console.writeLine. It's not even Java. system.out.println. Let's focus on this part. And you're like, okay, I can understand that. And then you eventually come back down to this. But I think also a sort of modern teaching of coding languages focuses on a language where you can just sort of build up from nothing. So for example, in Python, you can just type as your very first line, print hello world. And there, that's your first program, dead simple to understand. Use HSV in the editor. Oh, and that's fine. I don't think it's worth fixing, but it's funny that it happened because it's like Godot should probably know better. This is a color 1 times 10 to the -7th can't possibly be perceived by humans. Then again, it doesn't know what you're doing with it. Maybe you're using it as a hash code and you're comparing against exactly that number. But yeah, it's funny. All right, so the thing I was curious about is what code change. This is it right here. Start instance is not visible, and you don't have 3 slots. This is smart. This is good. Yeah. Yeah, so the only thing I'm concerned about is how do we make this look more like stone? But I don't think that's something to focus on for now. So yeah, looks good. Thank you. Oop. Okay, and one more PR, which is a thing that fixes tooltips. Wait a second, what? Oh, 427. What did I just check out? I checked out 431. Oh, so if I switch to main right now, everything should hopefully be fine. But we're not going to look at that yet. Fix instance UI buttons position. Adjust the containers and anchoring so these will get positioned correctly independent of instance size. They look odd in the editor. They see the whole size there, but that's fine. Yeah, I actually think now that we have a little bit more space, we should put this crystal over to the left side. I think it's weird to have 2 different UI controls that are separated by a half the size of this control. But it's not the fault of the PR or anything like that. I'm in my 3rd year of CS degree, and I still feel like I can't jump in and contribute to GitHub projects. Any tips on handling the steep curve of bigger projects? There is a whole category of like coding and skills with just very large projects that you might have. Mr. Halsey, hey, how's it going? Thank you for the raid. I was actually in your stream the other day. By the way, it's made by me. I'm going to answer the rest of your question. Don't worry. But I was in your stream the other day, Mr. Halsey, but I just hadn't actually chimed in because I was like, I don't want to distract him. So I'll just watch him code. You were, what was happening? Let me rewind my memory here. You had like 7 things in an array and there was something getting removed from the array. That's not going to be enough to tell you what you were actually doing there. Whoa, MPV. Also, hey, Goose. Haven't seen you in forever, MPV. Anyway, how's it going, Mr. Halsey? Yeah, so I want to say this. Big projects are their own beast. And if you were to work on something like Chrome or VS Code or something like that, typically they have what they kind of call starter bugs, which are bugs that are self-contained enough that you can just get an idea of what it's like to work with a code base in a very simple way. See if you can find something like this. Or maybe they say like, newbie friendly issue, or I don't know. They'll have different namings. This is not a term. This is just what I'm calling it. But that's a good way to start. And then the other good way is to just kind of come up with a small task and see if you can do it. So a very simple small task could be like change the color of a button. And then you find out that you can do that. So you're like, okay, what if we were to add a button to whatever, do some function here? It depends on whatever you're talking about for a code base. So if you're in Chrome, what if you added a button that pops up a specific website like a bookmark does, but you put it right there in the home bar or something? And you just come up with larger and larger tasks until you feel comfortable. So I know this doesn't seem like, okay, it's a scientific approach exactly, but it's kind of the issue with these things is a mega code base might have a ton of documentation. It might have a ton of people working on it. It might have methodologies you've never seen. Take care, Mr. Halsey. Thanks for stopping in. Lurking is 100% okay. Yeah, but I still want to say hi. I feel like it's kind of weird if someone is just like, oh yeah, I watched your stream and didn't say anything and then left. So I should have said hi. Hey, Krasner. And thanks. I just showered last night instead of this morning, so my hair looks a little different. Still around. Work has been tough. Man. Well, I'm glad to see you again, MPV. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. I think today's going to be a fun day. We've got a lot of different things we can tackle too. So I think I want to move this enchanter crystal, but I don't think I want to do it as part of the PR. So I see what it would look like to move the enchanter crystal in the instance slot so that it's farther to the left, maybe even to the left of the flee button, so that it doesn't need to move as the text of the flee button changes. Very good at lurking though. Well, I appreciate it. The lurking, the raid, the allowing me to lurk. All very nice of you. Okay, so what did we do here? This is one file changed. Okay, so this is just anchoring and stuff. You know what? I will just run this once then and assume that it's fine probably. What is the PR? 432. Did that work? Yes. Okay. Yeah. You know, it's easy to get into a cycle with software development where it just feels like work and you're not focusing on the things you find fun or focusing on the wins. And next week is a launch of the 4th checkpoint. And I feel like that's a major cause for celebration, but it's also a time for me to sort of step back and see what we need to do next, analyze feedback, kind of just take inventory of stuff. And there's a lot that I want to do. For example, I want to make a trailer at some point, and I don't know when we should do that. Maybe not at version 0.4, but maybe we should. So we start a battle. The flee button's in the right spot. And then we build the Enchanter's Den. And yeah, there's the crystal. Yeah, looks good. All right, so this gets checked in. Okay, so now we switch back to main and then pop. And then open up Godot and run. Now we should have all the changes. So tooltips should have white text. We probably, wait a second, don't we have the, is 427 the one that changed the tooltip style? It might have been. I keep doing that. Yeah, it is. Okay, yeah, this looks good. Nice, nice, nice. Man, we're probably need to apply the notifications into this thing now. I guess I'll write that down. Probably need to apply new UI styling to notifications and to the, what do we even call that? The town menu. Yeah. That's on your to-do list. Okay, cool. Yeah, I really appreciate it. This is homework, I guess. I gotta ask about this. All right, so I have some content things that I wanted to do. Skills, I want there to be enough where you're excited about the choices. So this is gold player skills and town perks. Yeah, and we need to do some design on this, but none of this is that important yet. I think the balance is more important for right now. So where do we leave off? I wrote some big thing about progress, and I don't know where it is. I think it's in here. I linked a document. It's got progression in the name. Nice. There it is. Okay, what did I settle on? I didn't write it down. Are you serious? I know I wrote this somewhere. Here it is. Should this get replaced with level 2, 3 adventurers? I think we started to do that and then didn't finish. That would be the jungle. 3 adventurers, 2 recommended level. And then is the battle simulator currently testing in the jungle? Yes, it is. Okay, so then this is what I want to do. Now I want to see what the difference is between level 2 and level 3. There's no way to level up individual adventurers, so I guess we're just gonna try one at level 2 and one at level 3. Yeah, we gotta reload this though. All right, so we set the adventurers to level 2. We're trying with these 3 of them. I don't remember which party was bad and which one was good, but this is our baseline. And then we need different skills. Drat, what are the skills? There are too many to pick. So we have that. Let's get Echo Strike or Ice Blast would actually be pretty good. Why is this in parentheses? Because it's a tuple? Yes. All right, let's try Ice Blast. Ice Blast level 1. What is this one? Rogue, where are you, Rogue? Prey on the weak, Cloak of Shadows, expose weakness. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Let's just go with precision. And the final one is the Witch Doctor. We have Venomous Bite, Poisonous Skin, and Zombie Legion. Let's go with Zombie Legion. Okay, so for those who have not seen the stream in a little while, what this class is, it's the battle simulator. And what it does is it runs 100 battles with a particular configuration. So, oops, I forgot to level them up again. But anyway, oh, wait, also, we need to queue the leveling up of them. All right, well, this is just going to test skills, I guess. Anyway, the simulations all happen headless. So we do need the game to be open, but then they just run here. So we can see what happened here. Our first set ran 75 or had a 75% win rate, and then it broke. Interesting. I think I know what's causing this. Is this from Zombie Legion? It's probably from Zombie Legion. Huh, I'll have to look into that. Quickie did mention they should use Tile Fit. Okay, yeah, that might just be it. Hey, Magnetic Bind. How goes it? You know, I was just thinking about you yesterday. At one point, I was looking up local comedians, or well, comedy shows, not necessarily local comedians, with my wife, and we were trying to figure out, like, is anything worth going to? I was like, you know, Magnetic Bind does some stand-up. Have you still been doing it? Are you liking it? This is a huge problem. Let's go look at what Zombie Legion does. Next Tuesday, may or may not be going up. Oh, that's the other reason I wanted to ask about this, is because the videos you shared with me were poor video quality, and I want to know were there any that have better video quality so I can actually hear you, because I'd like to hear you. And I had to like turn the volume up to max, and there was a bunch of white noise from the crowd. Or not white noise, but background noise. So enemy died, summon zombie died, use. This should not break. And it apparently is breaking. Yeah, we check this. Huh. So we're somehow summoning. Wait, how does this work? If you don't have space for the battle, return null. Otherwise, summon them. I think I know what's happening. I think I have an idea. We run multiple battles in parallel, and Zombie Legion says when an enemy dies, summon a zombie. I suspect that battle X is affecting battle Y. So like an enemy dies in battle X and then causes a zombie to get summoned in battle Y. I think that's probably what's happening here. But does that make sense? Enemy died is only going to be for a specific battle. But we confer abilities. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look into this somehow. Just a friend's cell phone. Don't know if there's better video or audio quality versions of what I shared, though I think the past month or two they've had a more proper AV setup. That's cool. That means that enough people must be liking it. It seemed like the environment was really nice too. Because I think one of the things I've always thought it'd be cool to try stand up, but every stand up comedian has told stories about when they've bombed. And I think it's like learning anything. You're not going to always be the best at every single show you do. And sometimes there'll be nights where you're just not feeling it, or the crowd's not feeling it, or you forgot a joke or something like that. And it's that fear of like, well, that's got to happen. It's just part and parcel of the process. Then it's also a lot of work. But yeah, I think it'd be fun. All right, how do we figure out that this is the case? We probably need to assign IDs to the battle system to figure out which one are we in. Oh, alternatively, what if we just ran 2 battles at once instead of 100? Is this enough to cause the issue to happen? Also, I'm guessing it's only happening from here. Let's try that out. Isn't this your comedy show? The code is just a joke. Yeah, it's Ramey's time to come in, say whatever he pleases. All right, does this cause the bug? Yes, it does. And is it only because of Zombie Legion? So if I set this to 0, actually, let's just delete it. Then does the bug go away? Because, wow, this is a bug that can't actually happen in the game. You can only have the Witch Doctor in one fight at a time. So I'm assuming this has to do with how I coded abilities transferring to summons. What's the point of these type of keyboards? So I think what you mean when you say these type of keyboards is just split keyboards. And generally the point is ergonomics. But this particular keyboard only has 36 keys. And the point of that is actually also ergonomics, but for a different reason. There's just very little finger travel. Because at any given point, I'm at most 1 unit away from any of the keys I need to be at. So you could probably see as I type, and it doesn't really matter what I'm typing. Like I could switch windows, I could be typing numbers here, I could type symbols. At any point, my hands are just always in the same position, which is pretty cool. Yeah, Unknown. If you want to find out more about that stuff, by the way, I made a couple videos about this. You should add a beetle to the game, so people complain about bugs, you can just say the beetle is a feature. They're like, no, but my game is crashing. I'm like, yeah, it's the beetle. Shouldn't have a beetle in the game. They're really encouraging in a relatively easy crowd. Might not be your scene, though. Majority of the comedy is a little on the blue side. What does that mean? Like, depressing? I'm going to guess it means depressing. Did we run this? Did it fix it? It did fix it. So it is Zombie Legion. All right, let's try to analyze this. What is going on? We summon a zombie and then we confer abilities to it. I don't even know where that happens. Here, I guess. I'm guessing that's the problem, but I don't know for sure. Removed beetle. Unknown suggestion is snuffed out before it even began. Oh, very unclean. I've never heard that. I don't necessarily mind that. I was telling my wife, we went and saw Tom Segura, whom I thought was incredibly funny from the stuff I'd seen online. We went and saw one of his shows in person, and he tells some sort of off-color jokes that when you're there in person and you're laughing, but the people aren't laughing around you, it feels really awkward. He was like, he was making fun of Louisiana or something like that. I don't fully remember what. And I'm like, haha, it's a funny joke. But I don't know, maybe there were people from Louisiana. Anyway, I was like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to do in those situations. Is it just laugh and trust that no one's gonna like beat you up after the show? I've heard that Unknown, but I don't know what to believe anymore. Is it apocryphal? Is it true? All right, so what's going on with this? We have a summoner, we have a summon. We go through all the abilities and we pass them over to the summon. So this should work fine, but then the second battle, maybe it's sending too many abilities. How many do we have? We have 4. Wait, why isn't Zombie Legion there? Oh, Zombie Legion isn't one that gets converted to summons, which makes sense, I guess. Yeah, it's not. But what Zombie Bite is? What gets poisonous skin, maybe? Poisonous skin should be. It's not. Man, I don't know what I'm talking about anymore then. Is conferred to summon. Vampiric Bite, Venomous Bite. Yeah, so this isn't even true. So I guess let's put a breakpoint here. Oh wait, we already would have come from that, wouldn't we? Yes. We're in Summon Zombie. So where does this get called from? The ability system. And we have different ability systems. I'm not totally sure what's happening then. Yeah, I don't. I think this is failing, maybe? Maybe we never even get into this point. Let's try that. Although, wait a second. We don't even need the battle simulator for this. What am I doing? Couldn't we just test by... Let's turn off the battle simulator. And then go make it so that summon zombie just gets cast like once every second. Or once every half a second. Let's try that out. Fell out of watching comedy podcasts for the last couple of years. Did you get burned out on it? I was going to say, I just finished reading a book. Well, listening to it, I guess. And it was, I want to say 11 hours. And because of the author's way of speaking, I could only listen at 1.25x instead of the normal 2x. So that took what, like 7 hours pretty much to listen to. And 7 hours over many days means that I sort of got this habit of like, oh, I want something to listen to. I'll listen to the book. And then I finished the book. And I'm like, what do I listen to now? That was it. There's only one book that humanity's ever made. Okay, so we gotta go get the witch doctor with zombie legion. There. And then we just toggle invincibility and go into any battle. And is it gonna break? Because if this breaks, then I think it'll be an easy problem to solve. No, it doesn't. Maybe when an enemy dies, it's gonna break. Yeah, let's speed this up a little bit. Did it? Did it? Did it? Did it? Did it? No, it didn't. So this is just a battle simulator problem? Or maybe it's finishing a battle? Okay, let's get the error. This isn't helping. I don't know if summon zombie needs to be changed or not. Battle simulator. I mean, this is a good bug to figure out because maybe players could encounter it, but I doubt it. But I do want to understand what's happening here because we might run into other issues with the battle simulator. Doesn't matter if players encounter it, if it hurts our ability to develop. So yeah, where's the issue? Wait, it didn't print anything. Did I not add Zombie Legion? Oh, it's level 0. Ugh. Put it to 1. How many podcasts are almost always talking about something really depressing? I haven't listened to many podcasts. For whatever reason, I just don't like podcasts. But I listened to Bill Burr a couple times. he said something hilarious. He was talking about some like world politics and he's like, I got a solution. And he said whatever his idea was. He's like, wow, it sure is easy to solve the world's problems, but no one's here to combat your solutions. Oh, that was really funny. This doesn't happen all the time, huh? Or it's caused by whatever the other ability is that I just deleted. No, I didn't delete an ability. It was always Zombie Legion. But it could still be a race condition. I guess let's just run 100 battles and see. I wouldn't even know how to find one. I think they're easy enough to find. I think YouTube even has podcasts now. In fact, I think I can turn some of my content into podcasts. At least the mentoring and interviewing could be helpful, maybe. All right, so how many errors print out? Because, yeah, maybe it is a race condition. So far, none, but I'm assuming it's going to print something. Hey, Sir Puffin. Wait, what? Still none? Oh my God. What is going on? What did I change? I didn't... Oh, there it is. Right there. Oh, it only happened in the second battle. I didn't even know there were 2 battles going on. Well, would you look at that? I'm just not testing anything correctly. All right, yeah. So how many times did it happen? 1, 2... Oh, we're trying to add a battler multiple times. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13. What? Hang on, is it just 13? Because this is going to give us a decent idea of what the occurrence rate of this thing is. Yeah, let's just search for this. It's 18. So out of 100 battles, that happened 18 times. What would cause that to happen? Can't add child to battlers, already has parent. All right, let's go to the very first one. I think we ignore these because I can't do anything about that. And where's this coming from? Add battler. Position in first empty slot. This would imply that something is trying to get added twice. Battle system 716. Add summon battlers, and then battlers just summon .clear. Let's just summon. Hold on a second. We got to make sure that adding a battler can never cause another thing to get summoned, which right now it technically could, because it's going to delete that summon. Excuse me. Run on ally came to life. What does this even do? Ally came to life. Shield of Unity. What? Oh, interesting. It's for the cleric. I forgot about that. All right, well, I don't see a problem there. This adds them here. And the only place we modify this is right here, summoned by enemy ID. How could this happen twice then? Create battler. This doesn't add them, does it? No. Unless init has an add in here. Nope. Huh. Hey, Sinestello. Thank you. Music, I listen to random YouTube subjects. Keeps the brain moving, silently judging. I guess Skeleseller would be one of those games you got a podcast in the background. I feel like Skeleseller is the kind of game where you'd have another game in the foreground. Play 2 games at once. It's like a companion app. Man, this is really, really difficult to figure out. We know it's from a summon, but summons are buffered. What if we didn't buffer them? But it says it already has a parent, right? No, it doesn't even say that. It says index out of range. Must be non-negative and less than the size of the collection. Position in first slot. Oh, but this is because we're trying to, yeah, it's because we're trying to add the same thing twice. And we don't have any empty slots. Where do we do this? Add battler should only be called if you, oh my God. I think I know. Oh man. Yeah, I think I understand. I think this can happen to real users. Okay, so here's what I think is going on. Remember, keep in mind, there's Zombie Legion, which says when an enemy dies, summon a zombie. But it actually summons on the next frame. So here's what I think is going on. In one frame, 2 enemies are dying. The battle sees 1 slot and says to both of them, yes, there's space, and cues their summonings. Then the first is created and there's no longer space. Yeah, that's what's happening. It's got to be that. All right, so we just need to move the check for whether there's space somewhere else. But then summon zombie is going to be broken too, because it's possible we create a zombie here. We see that there's space. Oh, you know what we could do? Well, yeah, we could change something else, in fact. Summon by enemy ID. Yeah, instead of has space, what we could do is we could see how much space there is and how many things we have to summon for this player. I think that might be best. So solution number 1 is when checking if the battle has space, take into account how many things should be summoned on your side. Solution number 2 could be if we find out you don't have enough space, just kill the thing we would have summoned? I still think solution number 1 is probably best. And is there a solution number 3? No, I don't think so. Yeah, you can share a link if you want. Checking out the battle has space, taking into account how many things should be summoned on your side. Yeah, let's do that. Man, how does this work? Get empty slots. And is this the only place it's ever used? Yes, it is. Really. Okay, so num empty slots is equal to this. Actually, you know what? No, has space for battler can still be here. We can just change this thing. Num empty slots. And then turn num empty slots is greater than 0. So in here, what we need to do is find out, we need to consider how many slots will be taken up by summoning something. But there's going to be a race condition here too, won't there be? What if in one frame, one of your zombies dies and also kills an enemy? Should the zombie replace itself? I don't know. I'm not going to worry about that. Tactical mean deployed. It's a YouTube video. I was going to say I don't tend to watch YouTube videos on the stream, but if it were an image or something, I might click it. All right, so how do we figure out... Battler's just summoned. It'll actually create the battler, and a battler should have a team, right? Please tell me you have a team. Team. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, good. So that's what we need to check here. Now, how do we do that? Int num summons for this team equals... Oh, there we go. Perfect. Okay, so num empty slots minus the number of summons has to be greater than 0. Right? Yes, I think that's it. And I think that should fix it. Option is to queue the summons until the next frame. They're currently queued, and that's why this is a problem. And we can't not queue them because then we'll hit a different problem. Well, I don't recall what that one was. Probably just concurrent modification. But I think this should fix it. The nice thing about a battle simulator is we're about to run 100 repros, and it was a 20% rate. So if it's 0 now, then we can be reasonably certain that we fixed it. So far, so good. Now, if we see blue text and not red text, yeah, nice. We fixed it. Cool. They go by turn through an array to see there's space underneath, and they wait their turn to spawn and space opens. I think this should suffice as a solution here. I also think this is pretty elegant and solves a bunch of other potential problems we might have had. Like if we'd gone with solution 2, which I know no one is suggesting other than me, which is just kill the thing we were going to summon. It's possible. I think we have an ability that makes it so that like when a zombie dies, it damages enemies. And if you don't have space to even summon the zombie, that means it would just die immediately, which means it would damage enemies, which means it might try summoning more zombies, which means it might try doing more damage. So that could get out of control. So they're queued. Why don't we always queue without checking and we check at the summon time? The reason, so that was a way that we could do this, but we're going to end up with this ability is going to think that we made a zombie even though we don't have space. And yes, that's what solution 3 was, which I only had talked about but never wrote down. So yeah, this would just always assume that we created one of these things. And I don't think that's necessarily a problem. It does mean we're doing a whole bunch of stuff. Like we're playing the summon sound even though we haven't summoned anything. Actually, that alone is probably a reason why not to do that. Yeah. Or we can move where the summon sound plays. Okay, let's go write a thing for that. Has space for battler. Yeah, I think it's good. Hey, org. Zombie bites. Different kind of bite. I'm going to run this one more time. It'll do another 100 repros. Like I said, the odds of having a 20% chance not happen at least once out of 100 trials is probably so slim that there's no reason to do this. But it takes like 10 seconds. So we're about to find out what the answer is. Yep, no bugs. All right, let's go check that in. It's an important bug to fix. Fix bug with summoning. What branch am I on? Main, yeah. So Zombie Legion is a skill that makes it so that you summon a zombie when an enemy dies. This also made it so that you may summon two enemies or two zombies in the same frame. E.g. an AoE ability kills two enemies at once. If you only had one space left in battle, both zombies would still try to get summoned since summoning is queued. This change fixes, I guess this commit fixes that by taking the number of summons into account when figuring out how many free spaces there are, free slots there are. Yeah. We also could have just rejected summons at the time of adding them to battle, but then summon zombie would have played a sound that actually producing a new zombie. Okay, just checking the battle system, done. All right, well, that was a big detour. What I wanted to do is see how much do these skills increase your win rate by. But technically, it's not just skills. We also need to level you up to 3. And now I suspect that the win rate's going to be 100%. But that's just one build. Let's try another build after this and see. I want to see what the lowest win rate is. I got a couple of offers. Congrats. Salesforce stock went up like 20%. I mean, I think you should take one of the offers. Just based on how you talked about your job at Salesforce, it doesn't sound like you're liking it very much. And, I mean, you're always going to have golden handcuffs. Well, not, I guess, depending on the definition of golden handcuffs, but you're always going to have high compensation there. So it's like, what's going to finally convince you to leave? It's a pay cut, though. I mean, but so what? Like, if you don't like your job, it's not a pay cut by like 90%, right? And even then, I think if you disliked your job enough, it could still be worth taking. Not a haircut. I just showered last night instead of this morning, so my hair looks a little different. But hi, Stockton. Normally, I shower each morning before the stream, but last night I worked out pretty late, so I'm like, I'll just shower before going to bed. The win rate's pretty high. It's 98%. I don't find this concerning at all, but I do wonder what would another party composition be like. At this point in the game, you only have 4 classes: Mage, Rogue, Witch Doctor, and the Archer. So I guess let's just throw the Archer into one of these and see what it does. So our base win rate, which I gotta write down. Win rate with Rogue, Mage, Witch Doctor is 98%. Now we're gonna try what seems like it'd be the worst party, probably these 3. And we'll give the Archer some skills. What are the skills? Rapid Shot. Let's give them 2 points in Rapid Shot and 1 point in Lightning Reflexes. Rapid Shot and Lightning Reflexes. Yeah, let's see what this does. Did I bust out the crop top during the workout? I was wearing an A shirt and a hoodie. The A is for Adam. The scarlet letter, which I carry with me everywhere. This is 91%. That's actually surprisingly good. How are they that powerful? Well, I guess there's no problem here then. Yeah, there's no problem here. Or at least I'm not concerned about this. So I think we're going to call this balanced. And now we need to Do the last instance and get the loot. Retool loot. That's almost a palindrome. Retool looter would be. Me too, Adam. It's not a crop top. The level 3 is going to take 3 adventurers. And I'm confident that this is the way to go, right? Am I? You know, the way we could kind of slow this down by quite a lot is just make leveling up cost more money. Excuse me. So Volcano is fine, Jungle is probably fine. Now this should be max number 3, recommended level 3. And this could have multiple phases, but then I guess it needs to give you really, really good loot. Especially because it's going to take up all of your adventurers. I think let's just not do multiple phases yet until the next set of instances. After the second boss, introduce multi-phase instances. Yeah. Crop top with Adam Troll on it. I should get a shirt like that, Magnetic Bind, and have the text, my face is down here. All right, green skeleton, red skeleton, and skeleton. What did you just fight? It was 5 enemies, and before that it was 3. So, I mean, I guess we could just crank this to maximum and say that you're fighting a ton of them. I don't know if that's fun or interesting, but I think it is. I think it's fun and interesting. So how many is that? That's 7, and we wanted there to be a lot. I mean, we could set this to 6 right there. How's that going to feel? So that's Crypt. It takes 3 adventurers. Yeah, so let's just send these to the Crypt and see how well they do. I don't even know what I want the win ratio to be, though. So I guess let's get an idea of what it is. And I think I want it to be more than 50%, but probably not a lot more. Maybe like 60 or 70. What is it? It's 0. I guess they're too strong. It's maybe the red skeleton is too strong. How strong are you? 400 life, 20 attack. And a regular skeleton is, whoa, really weak compared to that. And then there's a green skeleton in there too. Green skeletons are 200 life, 25 attack. I think they're just doing too much damage. How much is the next strongest thing? Blue worm. Blue worm has 13 attack. We have dungeon bats at 15. Yeah, so it should be in the 13 to 15, not like 25. So I guess let's set this to 14. No, let's make the red skeleton have 14. Let's make the green skeletons have 12. Do we use skeletons anywhere else? I think we do. Yeah, we use them in the dungeon. So we can't modify this in isolation. It would also affect the other ones. Well, let's see how that goes. Maybe we've already increased the win ratio enough. Well, it better be higher than 0. Because that's kind of a problem. All right, what are we looking at here? Win rate is now 22%. I bet if we threw in the Witch Doctor, it would be higher. Crypt. Yeah, I think the Archer is just bad. All right, let's try that. Yeah. And you know what? Is that a problem? Let's say the Witch Doctor is just better than the Archer in this fight. Is that fine? Like, the player would have access to them. Yeah, 91 battles. That's nuts. Maybe that means that the Witch Doctor is too powerful. Or it could just mean the Archer is really bad. But yeah, 91% win rate. I feel like we got to do something about this. Has a degree, yeah. Not just which PhD. It's Dr. Which D. How's it going, Ender? I don't know what to do about this. Also, the win rate of the jungle was like 98%, right? Why did... Maybe we just need different skills for the archer? Let's try some different things. Although I suspect that they're all going to be bad. So what do we get as a win rate for this? 91%. And the other one's 19%. Mage, rogue, witch doctor, 91%. Mage, rogue, archer, 19%. But this was with rapid shot 2 and lightning reflexes 1. I wonder, let's just go try a whole bunch of different skill loadouts here. So how about lightning reflexes 2 and wild shot 1? And then what if we went for an AoE build? So we got forked arrows 2. And what's the next one called? That makes it shoot 3? Triple split. Okay, I wonder which one of these is going to be best. They might all be terrible. We could also make the rogue a little bit more defensive. But I want to only change one variable. So I wonder what the highest win rate will be. And if it's more than 40%, then that means one of these builds is actually surprisingly good. So 18%, that was our baseline, right? Yeah, that was our baseline. So the next one is 26%. All right, so just having a higher chance to dodge made it win 8 more battles. It's pretty interesting. And now going, what, full AoE? Yeah, it's terrible. It lowers the win rate. See, the problem with a win rate like this is about 1 out of every 6 or 7 battles. Which means you might make a change and still lose and not have any idea of, did you do any better or worse? Was it just normal variance? Yeah, I don't know. I think the witch doctor is kind of always going to be powerful. I guess. All right, let's try something else here. Let's give the rogue a little bit more survivability in all of these cases by giving them precision and stealth. Use the dodge bonus. So we can make the dodge bonus be 20%, 25% for 3 seconds, for 5 seconds. So they'll dodge a quarter of all attacks. That might be good. So precision is level 2 and stealth is level 1. All right, what does that do for win rates? Does the mage have anything defensive? No, they don't. Yeah. Oh my God, that tanked the win rate. 4%. And then 3%. And the final one. Wait, is it 3% twice? Oh, it is. Wow, that's terrible. So it makes sense to just go all in on damage? Is there anything else I could try here that might actually make an impact? I don't think so. Maybe pierce armor. So rapid shot and pierce armor. I don't know. Yeah. So I don't know what conclusion we even draw from this. The witch doctor is way better than the archer. do we leave it to the player to find this out? I guess. I don't know. Let's just see what the feedback says, right? Because the stats show that this is balanced for the other character. Okay, so here's what we need to test now. Now that we know that the Witch Doctor and whatever else has a pretty good win rate, what I think we should do is try different builds. Hey, LTEP4, thank you for the raid. Welcome in, everybody. How are you all doing? We have been working on Skeleseller for the last, I don't know, 7 months or something like that. And I'm currently trying to work through the balance of the game. So we have 7 different classes in the game. And at the point that we're trying to balance for, you have access to 4 of these. And it's not just any 4, it's a specific 4. So each class has a bunch of skills. And again, at this point in the game, you can have 3 skill points. So we're trying to figure out what is your win ratio in each battle based on the party composition you have and the skills you choose. Janitor raid, was it a cleanup stream? Code an automated test of every eventuality. There are way too many combinations because you can have a party of three party members, and then you have 3 skills, and you can put them into like 5 different choices. Yeah, I can actually show the game. So this is, hang on, let me restart this. For those who've never seen this before, this could be a good time to pay attention. We DevOps folks are really just janitors. I'd say you're sometimes paving the way. And in that sense, you're like a steamroller. Yeah, so this is a laid-back town management game. You send adventurers into battle. So you can see this rogue walk into the portal. The battles are automated. So they'll just be fighting this bat here. There are sound effects. Yeah, and music. And when you win the battle, you get items. They'll pop out of this portal here. And your characters will bring them to your shop and drop them off. And then customers can come over and buy those things. So this is a potion worth 3 gold. I'm going to turn the audio off now. But yeah, you can see they're going to go walk over there and buy it. So we just made 3 gold. And now with the money, we could maybe train our adventurer and put a skill point in. We could potentially hire a new adventurer. I don't have the money for that. Grant money. Now I do. We can get the mage. Yeah, and then you can eventually get to larger and larger battles. So maybe you're doing something like this eventually, where you are, where you're starting a battle against multiple enemies with multiple party members. What tech do I need to know to make that besides C#? You don't need to know C#. But yeah, typically a game engine and typically a programming language. And I say typically for both of those because you could make your own game engine and you could do this with the sort of blueprints or no-code solutions that are out there too. But yeah, this is Godot and C#. Do you have a workflow when you code? I know each person in team has different ways to go about things. What do you mean exactly? Like taking on tasks or how to tackle one single task? Did I get a haircut? No, I didn't get a haircut recently. I'm sorry, I mentioned this a few times now. I typically shower in the morning right before a stream. So my hair looks pretty consistently the same all the time. But I worked out later than normal last night. So I worked out right before sleeping, or sorry, showered right before sleeping. So this morning I was just like, hey, wife, does my hair look good? She said yes. I don't call her wife, by the way, but I have not shared her name on stream. Taking on tasks, I see. So you mean something like, for example, do you use an agile workflow or something along those lines? My general workflow, which I know you've probably seen a lot of at this point, but it's figure out the priorities for each task. And you don't necessarily need to be the one to do this on your team. Maybe someone else has already done this. And then typically tackle the highest priority stuff unless we won't have time for some reason. So for example, we're launching in 1 week. So maybe there's a system I'd like to add, but it takes 2 weeks to do. That might be the highest priority system, but at this point, not going to happen. Now, with that said, that actually kind of implies that there was a planning problem longer ago than this week. But yeah, at a high level, I think this is what's happening. But I also don't probably think that's too helpful. So I'm happy to drill into this in any way if you'd like me to. Yeah. Anyway, like I said, so we are testing balance right now, and I have this thing, the battle simulator. It runs 100 battles at a time and then just reports on the stats. And what we're going to try right now is what's the best set of damage dealers to have on your team, or maybe what's kind of closest to the best, or maybe just how well does the archer do. So here's one configuration. Now we're going to try is, what if we replace the rogue with the archer, and we give the archer forked arrows 2 and triple split. So this is an AoE build. And then what if we replace the mage with the archer? I don't even know that this is the best archer build, so I am just shooting in the dark right now. Sort of like how the archer will be, because there won't be a battle rendered. So forked arrows 2 and triple split 1. Okay, let's try running this. So place your bets. Is it going to be mage rogue, mage archer, or archer rogue? And I think it's going to be mage and rogue, but I don't know. Person I've been using Agile, I learned at work, and I have my own private Jira instance, so I kind of follow the same workflow from work. Yeah, and by the way, something I think that's kind of worth talking about is process increases as team size increases. Process should always be serving the team. So as an example, let's say you are a team size of 1. Are you going to take like the time to estimate task size and, I don't know, assign it to yourself and like put it in the right iteration and then like mark it done and whatever else? Are you going to do all this stuff? And maybe you do. Maybe that's what works for you. But if this feels like it's friction and there's no real benefit, then I'd say just drop it completely and keep only the parts that you want and that are helping you. And I think for larger teams, if you have 100 people on a team, you do need to do some of this stuff. You need to have communication to figure out who's working on something. You don't want 2 people making the same PR. And then it's like, well, whoops, I just spent a day doing this. We just lost 1 developer day out of our team. It's like, that's easily avoidable. And I think that this happens a lot when smaller, medium-sized companies get acquired, is that they start to adopt some of the process of the larger company. And it's a lot of friction for the people when they're doing that, because they're like, we're not used to this. We used to just be able to code. Now we can't just code. And it's like, well, there's probably a reason why the bigger company has this process. And I think it's sort of similar to, imagine if you saw something like danger, don't touch the pipes or something like that. Imagine if you saw a sign that said this. You can reasonably assume that maybe somebody touched the pipes in the past and got burned or something. And now it's like, well, let's put a sign up and stop people from doing that in the future. So every sign has a story. I think it's kind of the same thing with all the process that exists at a company has a story. There's probably some issue that happened in the past where they're like, we're going to stop this. So we're going to implement some process. And now people won't be able to do that thing that they did in the past. Oh my God, look at that. 12% win ratio by getting rid of the rogue. What, does the archer just suck? What is their DPS? 14, and the rogues is 16. What? Why does that? Why does this tank the win ratio so much then? Oh man, I think I know what's causing this. Yeah, I think I know what's causing this. The rogue is making sure that you're always targeting down the weakest enemy. So it's decreasing the enemy DPS as fast as possible. Oh man, this is going to be really difficult. Rogue always hits the lowest health enemy, and the rogue insta kills that enemy if it's less than, I don't know what the exact life is, but something like 10% life. So essentially, if your rogue is alive, all the enemies have less life. And you're going to go from, if you just think about it in terms of life bars. So imagine that an enemy team looks like this at the beginning of the battle. With the archer, you might end up in a state where it all looks like this. But with the rogue, that'll never happen. well, it's not never, but it almost certainly will never happen. And you'll instead have something like this one's at 0, this one's at 0, and all the other ones are at whatever the rest of the average would have been, 80. So now here, you're still taking 9 hits per turn. Here, you're taking 7 hits per turn. So I think that's why the rogue is so powerful, which is very interesting because that uniquely positions them in big fights, even though they have no AoE. Kind of odd because I still find myself productive even when organizing tasks, moving tasks to completed. Gives me something to think about when I want to implement something into my projects. Yeah, I think there are lots of reasons to consider why you should do something. I don't think the equation is ever just like time spent and then like lines of code produced. I think there's something to be said for fun, for motivation, for learning, for possibly money, for, yeah, the product itself. Like, you need to consider all of this stuff. If you were to work on a solo project and just for a year straight you're coding it and there's nothing fun for you, you probably have less likelihood of completing that project. So I think it's like, okay, sprinkle in some fun tasks. They may not be the highest priority thing, but it keeps you motivated. And if you find organization fun, then yeah, then that equation is skewed more toward it being valuable. I think the only problem is when you are neglecting the rest of that equation. So for example, you're like, oh, fun tasks are worth doing because Adam just said so, right? And then your product is a mess because you're just like, I only worked on all the fun features and there's no actual glue for all of the fun. A fight should take X seconds, break the function into gameplay factors. Yeah, I think there are a lot of ways to approach balance. And I also think there are different philosophies on what is even considered a problem. So for example, almost every game, there's going to be some like best loadout for a situation. And usually a community of players will figure this out after some time. And the idea is typically that it's not the best loadout for every situation. If you have a best loadout for every situation, then that could be a problem because it's like, okay, well, now you're just not making decisions anymore, I guess. So in this case, it's like, okay, maybe we just found out that, yeah, the rogue is the best for right now. Is that a problem? Like, no, as long as they're not always the best. And I'm just not sure, is there a reason to want the archer? Like, I guess they did pretty well compared to the mage. There was a 91% win rate versus an 86%. That's close enough where the archer is still valuable. It just means that the rogue is super valuable. It could also mean that maybe we should give someone else the ability to target the lowest health enemy. I don't know. Why not buff the archer? I don't think the archer is a problem. I think it's just how good the rogue is in these cases. I'm sort of inclined to say it's not an issue, except for this. That if you don't have the rogue in your party, your win rate plummets to 12%. Strong again toward the end, stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, we have ways of changing some of the balance of this and not having it be like too crazy difficult to manage. Like maybe what we could do is make the rogue a little bit weaker so they're doing less damage, but your survivability is more because they're always killing the weakest enemy. The other thing we could do here is we could just change the instance itself. Instead of having, what is this, 9 enemies, we could just have 3. And now it doesn't probably really matter so much that the rogue is killing one of them first. The reason I wasn't certain I wanted to do that is because right after this instance is a boss, and there's only going to be 1 enemy for that one. You know what? I think I'm going to leave this as is. Let's see how it goes when we get to feedback. And then the waterways will be the boss instance. So how much should it cost to unlock this next thing? I don't know. We got to start basing that on how much money you get. I'll set this to 100 for now. How much money do you get? The jungle gives you on average 74. That seems too much. Oh, because I never balanced it. All right, well, how much should it be? The volcano gave 24. And the jungle takes a whole other adventurer. So it should be at least double. Yeah, at least double. So we probably want to tone this down by like 14. Let's drop the bows. And what did we give out? Hooded cloaks, medium yellow potions. We need this to give a quest too, don't we? First location grants an armor quest. Is that still true? It is. And yellow potions. Do yellow potions count for a quest? No, red potions do. Okay, so this gives you the armor quest. This gives you, what did I say? The potion quest. So this should be pretty heavy on potions then. All right, let's have it drop just big life potions for now. Although, how many of those does it need in order to complete the quest? 3. Let's set that. Let's set that to 4. And let's have it drop at least 2 of these. And then maybe change the value. All item data, big life potion. Value 14. What's the medium yellow potions value? 10. That's probably reasonable. And then boots, cloak, and hooded cloak. Let's see what that value is. No, this probably needs to drop a little more than this. Maybe 3. And we make the quest take 5. Compared to guessing numbers for weeks, I prefer it. Like I said, I think there are a lot of different sort of balanced philosophies you could have, which is in some games it might be you have to find what's best. In other games it could just be, yeah, anything will work. And at the end of the day, it's about how does it feel for most players? Is it fun? So do you want things to be perfectly balanced? Do you want them to just be like a high enough win ratio? And in an automated game, it's a little weird because you're not sitting there for each battle. Like you're not thrashing against the win ratio if it's 40%. It would probably feel bad if there were a boss battle in a manually played game. Like imagine Super Mario World, and instead of one of the bosses taking like 3 jumps to beat, it was like 50. You'd have a bad time. New players would find this almost impossible. And even experienced players would be like, man, 50 jumps just takes a long time. Rather fight an orangutan with a sword every year. Or fight a chicken every time you get out of your car. I don't want to fight either animal. But if I had to pick, I don't know. I guess the orangutan. There's no G at the end of that, is there? Yeah. Right? Yeah, there's no G at the end. Okay, got it. Because I would want to minimize the amount of times I need to slaughter an animal, I guess. Let's see. What did I just talk about? I thought I decided something and then it just evaporated from my brain. Oh yeah, the item stuff. Yeah. So I presumably ran this. Did I? Value 128. What? Oh, that's the crypt. I'm looking at the jungle. 74. No, I don't think I reran this. There's a little fun story for everyone in Twitch chat. All right, this is stupid. I don't want the battle simulator running. I just want to look at these numbers. Jungle is now 37. How is that possible? Turn off the stupid battle simulator. $37? That means you get 37 gold on average. But why? It's the jungle, right? Yeah. 1 to 3. So that's an average of 2 times 14 is 28 plus 1.5 hooded cloaks. Hooded cloak is 6, so it's actually 9. So 9 plus 28 is 37, yeah. Well, we wanted to double that. We could just increase the value of the potions. Yeah. Let's do that. Oh, we gotta accommodate player skills at some point too. Ugh. All right, what did I want this to be? You're getting on average 2 potions, so we need to increase this by 6. I don't like that idea. I don't like that idea at all. Let's just drop boots. Boots are worth 10. Boots. 1 boots. All right, so that'll bump it up to 47. And now I want to bump this up by just a tiny bit more. So I guess we need to make the big life potions be worth like 1 gold more. Okay, there. That should work. Just picturing in this hypothetical where you're fighting a chicken every time you get out of your car. Imagine you're driving with your boss somewhere and you're just going to whatever, a restaurant, and you just sigh a deep sigh. You're like, oh, hang on a second. And your boss just sees a chicken fly out of nowhere, rage in its eyes as it descends on you. Take care of business, boss. All right, then we need an armor quest for the 3rd location. The 3rd location being the crypt, and the armor in question being a demon helm. That would work, but I feel like that's too strong an armor to drop at the beginning of the game. But we can always change graphics, so it doesn't really matter too much. Yeah. You have to fight the chicken to pay at the drive-thru. I don't think you're getting out of your car. What if you just have an army of cats with you and they do your dirty work for you? Or dogs, I guess. All right, so how much did this one give? This is also a 3-person instance. But the win ratio can be pretty high. So if this is 50, this one should maybe be 80. And it has to drop the demon helmet. And the demon helmet probably shouldn't be worth a ton of money. It's currently 30. I don't know about that. Let's make it 18. And let's make this take, yeah, let's make this take 4 of them. I think it's fine. Okay, we can't drop those. Let's also have it give you a little bit of the big life potions. Maybe up to 2. And I want to drop the boots as well. Maybe 0, 1. And we need something else that's worth some money here. I gotta figure out what this is equal to. Hey, Bika or Becca. I've never actually pronounced your name. How do you pronounce your name? B3KA. Hey, David. Am I still at Google? No, I quit a little over a year ago now. Yeah, let's hear it. Wait, second time I said it right. I don't remember which way I said it. So let's do this. First is like pronounced Becca, and second is pronounced Bika. Wait, first or second now? First, okay. Got it. Becca. Let's throw that into name pronunciations. B3KA. There we go. Actually, you know, I'll just edit a little note next to your name. There, I don't even have to remember. All right, what's the value? Crypt 47. That is paltry. That is poultry when I get out of the car. 1 to 2, 0 to 1, 0 to 2. How many items? 3? No, no, no. That simply won't do. Also, I should have measured the duration of battles. We need to up this by 2 items. And we need to up the value by probably 25. The easiest way to do that would just be to add 2 more demon helmets, I guess. But a big life potion and a demon helmet would be 32. So it'd be a little too much. I kind of like that idea at least. Big life potion. Actually, how about we do 2 of those? Okay, what if we did that? I don't even know what this equals because I'm not paying attention. But maybe it'll be good. Yeah. Now the crypt gives you 4.5 items and the value is, yeah. This is almost there. How much are boots worth? Boots are worth 10. So we'd make this perfect if we just gave you this. Done. All right, then the waterways is going to be a boss instance. We could have it take in all 4 of your adventurers. Recommended level has to be 3 for sure. Cost to unlock can't be 100 or 999. Maybe 110. Room spawn data. Let's just put another ogre in there for now, just to indicate it's a boss room. And maybe it's got a couple little minions. I don't know, skeletons. Doesn't make any sense. And then what is this thing going to drop? Let's also have it drop ogre blood for now. Why is that not a thing? Oh, it's big black potion. And we'll just have it drop 2 of those. This is me being lazy for right now. All right, so what do we do? Quests show up here. Yeah, I think we need to write this down. The forest has nothing special. Dungeon has first potion quest. Then this armor, potion, armor. Maybe I should just say potion quest. And then armor, potion, armor. Armor quest. Potion quest. Armor quest. Yeah, so we don't need to write that down. Waterways will be the boss. So you'll start in the Inferno, but we don't have any content anymore. Yeah, I don't know. Now you could start unlocking more adventurers. I kind of like the idea of you having parties of size 3 now and having to figure out which parties to form. It has to be increased in some way though, right? I don't know. So based on this. I don't think I'd ever found one. Oh yeah, this is a bug. Bug. Content. So we need to add some more of the content, yeah. All right, so the balance to do is test a playthrough, make the second boss, and after the second boss, introduce multi-phase instances. These are going to take a lot longer. Okay, let's try an actual run through the game. Did I add Is Elite? No, I didn't. Good call. I put that at the bottom. I know we can go anywhere, but there we go. Yeah, we're going to try an actual run through the game. We should make all adventurer choices based on randomness. Yeah. Also, technically, this skipped the tutorial, so let's not skip the tutorial. Go to the town, skip tutorial. Yeah, there we go. All right, let's try it out. Let's start a stopwatch as well. I'm going to do this off screen. Stopwatch, start. I know I'm starting in a couple seconds too soon. It doesn't matter. I'm not trying to get the exact time, just the approximate time. All right, I already done all this stuff. Players would not be skipping through this as fast as I will. All right, so first, random chance. Let's do, how do you make a random number in JavaScript? Online dice roll. I want a D2. All right, fine, whatever. D10, and if it's 1 to 5, we pick Archer. All right, so we pick the Mage. Now start a battle. I'm going to speed this up. Making a game is cool. Why do I have 30 gold? Is that to build the potion shop? Nope. Yes, it is. All right, cool. Now customer starts streaming in very slowly. We're going to fight another battle. So the first thing that we're supposed to do is train our character. The only other thing we could do, well, there are only 2 other things we could do. We can unlock the next location, and we could try to hire another adventurer. But yeah, for the first bits of the game, it's just learning the game, getting items, realizing that you're selling items and not just getting money immediately. Hoping that the customers go over there. Yeah, the worker sprite did change. It's now more in line style-wise with the rest of the characters. Oh, nice. A desired item. They're going to tip. I think they'll give me, what, like 3 gold? All right, get ready to replace this. 12 gold tip. That's crazy. All right, I almost have enough money to level up this adventure, but I guess just the level up on its own doesn't really do a whole lot. I've got to couple that with going to the dungeon. But at least this let me fight the last few battles more quickly. There we go. They're just idling there. I want to sell these items. We should get a rare customer somewhat soon. Well, not somewhat soon. All right, so now we can train the mage. I'm going to get storm intensity. We're going to repeat the battle. And then we can go to the dungeon pretty soon. Oh, nice. We're going to get another tip. Why are they tipping 12 gold? Is it because... Why is that happening? Tip. That's if they're rare. The maximum minimum purchase price of desired item, 15. Oh, yeah. Okay, I see. So you're guaranteed to get a 12 gold tip. That's pretty good. I mean, this helps you speed up the beginning of the game. Unfortunately, we don't have... we can't sell all these potions because we just don't have the throughput. But I can make them not disappear. And now from the dungeon, we'll be able to unlock the quest to get more potion slots. I think my mage is going to die. Wow, they almost died. Tim, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for the raid. Hi, turtles. We are testing the balance of the game, so we're actually doing a real run through the game to see what is it like. And so far, so good. Ignore the dungeon for a while, running 2 forests instead. The problem is running 2 forests takes 75 gold, and the amount of times, like, you have to wait a while to get the blue potions sometimes. A real run. How'd your stream go, Tim? How's everyone doing from Tim's chat? We need blue potions now. All right, put this in there. Nice. Now we have some more potion slots. So we can put this over here. But one of the customers wants a blue one specifically. And we don't have a blue one. They're just going to wander around. Oh, I got a player skill as well. I can now auto battle or make it so that things sell for more. Or make my workers move faster. Honestly, making it sell for more is a pretty good idea. Because it rounds up, so you get like 1 more gold per time. And now as long as this one buys the blue potion, we should be fine, right? Nice, 13 gold tip. We're rolling in money now. And we're going to get a rare customer pretty soon. Went good designing a stream overlay game and deving it on Friday mornings now. Cool, what's the game? Do the players at this stage know what the consequence of their adventure dying is? Could they be anxious about the health going down and not knowing how to heal? I think they'll see the healing automatically, and they'll also hopefully realize that there is no penalty for dying. But like, you can see the health just going up at the end of a battle. So I think that would be explained just by looking. All right. Yeah. So a lot of this that I'm testing is just to see, does this feel good? Like, are we waiting for long periods of time? And I mean, so far, I think it's good. We're about to make enough money to be able to hire the second adventurer. And when we do that, we double our item production, which doesn't necessarily help. Oh, we're going to die here, I bet. Let me just leave and come back. Yeah, doubling the item production doesn't help too much because customers, there are still only going to be 2 of them. But we will spawn a rare customer soon. It's practically guaranteed at the 15-minute mark. And it's been 6 minutes. And the rare customer will come by and buy pretty much everything. Okay, nice. Now we can hire our next adventurer, the rogue. No need for a random dice roll because there's only 1. And now we go over there, get our new... Actually, you know what? I guess auto battling is pretty nice, so I don't need to manage this myself. Yeah, so now we have 2 battles going on at once. I know my camera's covering one of them, but it's most of what you've already seen. All right, now I just need something to buy this. This is where having the item scrapper would be really good because we do not have that in the game right now. So there is no way you can take items out of a shop. And that's rather unfortunate for cases like this because I don't even think we have a second customer in town. Yeah, there they are. They need to buy this potion or else I'm sort of just locked. So I do think we need to add the recycler druid. Yeah, here we go. Look at my very skilled workers. Go. Tip. Buy the item. Yes. The money grows. All right. Like I said, it took my friend half an hour to get to the first boss and beat them. And we can actually unlock the first boss pretty soon. Oh, we can also increase the level of the rogue. I get quicker strike, get that. Yep, cool. And now we just need enough money for augmenting the portal, which we're going to be able to get pretty soon. In fact, I can sort of cheat this and make them sell for 6. It's not really cheating. Just I doubt players are actually going to do that. The rare customer still hasn't spawned. By the way, I'm the rare customer. I spend all of the money. I make you a happy player. All right, there we go. We got 35 gold. So now we can go fight the ogre. Let's wait for this battle to finish. We could just flee. All right, now we're going to go to the canyon. Got to just wait for life to regenerate a little bit and go. All right, it's boss time. I probably should have music playing for this. I think anytime I do a playtest, I should have sound effects. Let's turn the sound effects on. All right, are they gonna win? Yes. And there's the ogre blood potion. It's beautiful. All right, so now we unlocked a bunch of other things. We can go to the next location. Wait, no, we can't. What happened? What? Something's wrong. Something's very wrong. What happened? How do you make documentation and organize folders well? The folder organization part, I would say, is just make folders when you see a pattern. So for example, you have files like, I don't know, calculations.cs or something like that, and maybe probability.cs and some other thing. And you'd be like, oh, maybe this should go into a math folder. And that's it. As far as documentation, I think writing good documentation involves putting yourself in the shoes of the person who's going to read that documentation. So what did they know? What do they need to know? And how long is their attention span? I think those are all very important things. I don't know why this didn't unlock the next instance. This is a big problem. How do we do that? Oh my god. Oh my god. I think I know why. I think I accidentally hard-coded in the word forest where I meant to write canyon. And it's only just now. Yep, that's it. This should have been canyon. Oh boy. What program do you use for that? For the documentation? I mean, it depends on where you're writing it. If it's just going to go on GitHub or something, anything that writes markdown files is fine. What I use for a lot of my documentation is Obsidian and Google Docs. So for example, I was just planning the progression of the game. I just threw it into a document. Oh, this isn't under construction anymore. I threw it into a document and just started writing some stuff out. And that's it. And this made sense to me. Some people might look at this and be like, oh, this looks pretty tabular. Let's put this into a spreadsheet. That's totally fine too. I use Obsidian for a lot of stuff. If you go to notes.adamlearns.com, you can see a lot of the notes that I've taken. And for example, we've got like the Godot game engine notes here. Yeah. And you can see the kind of stuff I write about, how I write it, what I keep track of. I mean, these are mostly notes for me. I put them online because they could help other people. But yeah, it's mostly for me. Oh, I bet the rare customer spawned in the time I wasn't looking. It did not. What? It's been 12 minutes. It'll spawn soon. Either way, it doesn't matter because we hit a standstill here. So we have to quit. Yeah. Yeah, sure, the Hulk. I want to make a course on how to stay organized. I have not made a course in years. It's going to drive me nuts if I keep hearing that. Also interesting. I haven't seen the disabled button there. Okay, so we're going to speed this up. And we're going to go through all this stuff again, I guess. It should go very fast. Excuse me. In fact, we don't even need to wait. We can just grant money. Now hire our other adventurer. Grant money again. Train, train. Augment, augment. And now, not even putting in a skill point, you can still win this battle, right? I will put in some skill points, but we don't need to. I know we're not guaranteed to win. I was trying to make it sound like that's the case. All right, so we got our potion. And this sells for 100 gold. We need to have this customer buy it. I'll speed this up a little bit. We actually need to do the dungeon. And probably 2 dungeons. All right, we get our green potions. We get our quest. We now need a blue potion. And now we're pretty much back to where we were. So I'm going to save it as soon as this character buys this. Whoa, 147 gold tip. I forgot about that. Okay, there are a couple things we got to change. We need conclusions from playtesting. Need the recycling druid. Need to fix tipping with ogre blood. Obsidian looks nice for the wiki kind of document. Yeah, Obsidian can do quite a lot too. So it's not necessarily just like a wiki style thing. You could have you could have this be a database almost, and you can have graphs and I don't know, pretty much all the stuff you'd expect from almost any note-taking program. Hey, Batman. To be honest, I don't really think which program you use for notes is all that important. It's just, do you know how to use it? And for most of them, they're just text editors, so it's pretty easy. And then, are you taking notes when it matters? And my general philosophy on that is like, don't keep things in your head that you can look up. So there's a lot of stuff that I don't know if people think they need to memorize, but you need to memorize almost nothing. I think you need good systems instead. And I always think of the movie Memento for this. The guy had anterograde amnesia and wrote, like, well, tattooed on his own body his systems. So he just knew to look at his body to see what are the things he wanted to remind himself of. And as long as you can do that and you have, a 15-minute rolling memory, you should be fine. I had to check there only for the Canyon, the one you had to change. Shouldn't all that happen for any elite? Yeah, it should. In this case, it was beat instance for first time that got invoked, and I think this might be what's granting you the yeah, this is what unlocks the next one. Yeah, we're gonna have to change that too. Make the second boss after the second boss. So we have to change the hard-coded Canyon check in town for that to work. Okay, so yeah, we got to code these couple of things. May just be a texture repeat thing. Is that already there? Here it is. Not completely obvious to me in the game. I can see it in the editor zooming. I think we probably need to make it more obvious at the texture level because I can't see the difference. Yeah, I only see the grain around the edge. And I want it to be different somehow. It's like scattered pixels. But it's only around the edge, right? Oh, no, I see. Yeah, I think we need to be a little more obvious. Link this. Yeah, what I'm picturing in my head is the Minecraft stone texture. And I don't know if that's a dumb idea, but something like this. Is this flickering for you guys too? I'm seeing like an obvious flicker on here. What is doing that? No, it's not. OBS isn't picking it up. It's my monitor for some reason. Hey, Devil Dog. I'm picturing something like the Minecraft stone texture. Turn me into someone who takes notes because I actually organize them in a way that's easy to revisit. Yes, somewhere here they have, what is it? The graph, open graph view. I do not use this because this just doesn't gel with me. But some people like this idea where you can see all of your notes and see how they're connected to things. Wait a second. Okay, no, never mind. I wanted to make sure nothing showing there shouldn't be showing there. I think we need to code this stuff. Yeah, I think we need to code this stuff. All right, well, I think that's what we should work on post-break. You can all play Jump Royale. I'll be back. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Yeah, for those who haven't seen this, just type join in Twitch chat. Zoe. All right, I'll be back in a few minutes. Have fun. Unknown, I caught the beginning of the game where you were jumping off the edge a bunch of times, but you came in second at the end, so good job. One of the games you can cheat using a protractor. Yeah, someone actually even made an overlay for it, but whatever. I think it's fun. Close the game. There is something that I really, really want to do, and we'll probably tackle in about a week and a half, which is I want to make Animal Royale. I want to bring it back to the stream. Where's that video? Minecraft. Yeah, this. I'm just gonna mute this. Yeah, for those who hadn't seen this game, this is the one where it's another like you connect through Twitch chat and you play an angle game, but you connect as a sheep and you shoot TNT at each other. And I thought this was a lot of fun, and I want to have this run for lunch breaks. But the problem is controlling the camera so that people can actually tell what's going on. Like we could just have a static zoomed out view, or we could have like an action camera that knows how to show where people are battling. Anyway. All right, I want to check in what we've done. We don't need any of that. So revert the battle simulator. We do need the enemy data. We need the instance data. We need item data. Yep. Quest data sounds good. And then this change should also be checked in. This is just fixed bug with beating the canyon. It wasn't actually unlocking the next instance. And then this is address game balance. We now have instance data up until the second boss. I updated quests and items too. However, I haven't play tested this yet because there are some other things I want to work on first, like fixing tipping with Ogre Blood. There we go. Just our 5 other streams showing the map from different angles. Actually, multiple camera angles is something I hadn't thought of, but I don't think we can do that. We need to start 2 Minecraft clients, I think. Because maybe you can have 2 cameras in one client. I'm not actually sure. Yeah, I can join with multiple clients. Yeah. And then I need communication between the two, though. I think the thing I want to do is just like make there be a game loop and just figure out something good enough for the camera. What I think is going to happen is if I ever do take lunch breaks frequently enough, like let's say I take 20 minutes or something like that, I don't know how many games that works out to be, maybe like 4 to 5 games of Animal Royale. I think people would play maybe the first one, maybe the second one, and then I don't think anyone would play the other ones. Yeah. So I'm not even really sure it's worth doing or putting a lot of time into. Sheep game seems very easy to recreate in case your fan base isn't diehard Minecraft fans. Oh, you don't need Minecraft to play. You play through the stream. So it's just like the jump game. Are you gonna sit down, Cat? Hi. Yeah. Come on, Abby. Good girl. Good girl. Okay, now just sit your butt down. Good. What a good cat. So nice and warm. Oh, might care about visually. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Although I do like the game and the sort of the charm of Minecraft. She's so cute. Actually, sorry. Every time I show the cat now, I'm like, let me see if I've got a better photo I can share with you. No. Well, there is one. No, I shouldn't show that. I'm trying to make sure I don't ever show like, private stuff. Okay, so I think this one's easier to do. Need to fix tipping with Ogre Blood. We wrote something about this here. Yeah, tips are based on the most valuable item. Ogre Blood is 100 gold. We should find a way to exclude those items from the tip system. Maybe manifest that some are rare, then modify by item to keep track of that. Make sure loading from a save has Ogre Blood on the ground remembers this. There's another thing. The only way for Abby to be like very comfortable is for me to keep my knees very close together, which starts to become painful for me after a little while. Security cameras you can monitor. You can place a few of them around the field and switch. Oh, interesting. Yeah. I was thinking of doing something like what Super Smash Bros. Does, which is just figuring out where the action's happening and then showing the camera or having the camera show all of that. I think it's a little harder with a multiplayer game of this quantity because wherever the camera's showing, those people will probably have an advantage. All right, so this is one way to do this. Manifest which items are rare. Another way is we could just average out the value of the items that you found and use that. Ogre Blood would push the value, would push the average, but not by much. But then eventually the average will be harder to raise, I guess. Maybe we average the top 5 valuable items. But then they'd all be rare items. Yeah, I think we should just go with the first option. Just want to see. I love this cat. Okay, so item data will have an is rare. Now, one of the questions is, do we call it is rare or do we just call it something like exclude from tip considerations? And for right now, that's all this represents. So I guess let's just call it that. And most are not going to be excluded. But then all item data, big black potion is going to be excluded. True. Around town and chills at the bar. Geez, you haven't forgotten any of your lore suggestions, have you? I'm beginning to think you're keeping this all documented. You're like, today I will talk about snakes and hats. No, the ogre at the bar. Okay, so get purchase amount. So we get the most valuable item, which is select an item whose data, get the value. Yeah, the way I actually want to do this is going to be like this. Okay, we want to get the item data. Item data, data equals all item data dot get. And then we want to see if, I guess just return data dot exclude from tip. If so, 0, otherwise the value. That's it. So now it does not consider ogre blood in this. If the stack and heap are both in RAM, why is one faster than the other? So here's my I'm not fully context switching to answer this question kind of thing, which is the stack is, picture like a stack of cards. If you want, let's say you just arrange 10 cards in order of 1 to 10. If you want to access item number 5, you need to pop 4 things to get to it. Because with the heap, you're allocating memory in blocks and you have a memory address that you point to directly. Which I guess, I mean, the stack does work the same way. You've got offsets you could use. I don't know if that's actually what's happening. Because like I said, I'm not fully context switching to be able to answer this question. Okay, cat. You wanna not block my keyboard? Nope. Yeah, I don't know either. This is the kind of thing I would Google. Because there's something I need to keep in mind that I'm hoping I didn't just have slip out of my memory right now. Oh yeah, that's right. The testing of this, the tip thing. How do we do that? Okay, now I dislodged it. We need to have customers desire a specific item more frequently. And I think that happens from customer wander. Seek specific item. Here it is. Consider buying. Yeah. Chance to want specific item needs to be pretty high. Let's say 1. So they'll always want a specific item. And now we just need to test with ogre blood. But we need just ogre blood to drop. How do we do that? Items. We have this code. And we have toggle skill tree. Doesn't happen here anymore. Do we even have unhandled input? We do. Okay, we're going to delete that. And we're going to do this. Instance id.canyon. There we go. I think that should do everything. Got to skip the tutorial again. There. No, you're not disrupting. This happens every once in a while where someone asks a question, which I think I wouldn't necessarily mind trying to find the answer to, but that I have enough context in my head where I can't like eject that context just yet. All right, so we're going to add a bunch of customers. We are going to go do a battle here, I guess. And now they're going to desire these blue potions, and they're going to tip 12 gold, I think. Right? Well, they need to actually get the item. Yeah, so we should see a tip for 12. Good. Now I'm going to click this, and now we have 1 ogre blood. Oh, they might desire ogre blood. They can't. I got to stop that too. Okay, well, then it's not just excluding them from tipping. We should see that show up in their desires pretty soon. I hadn't even thought of this. Why aren't they showing up? That's strange. Oh, there we go. Yep. You'll never get your item. Don't you have to be mindful of what you're putting in the stack and heap? That's why there's things like Stack Overflow and memory leaks, right? Yeah, I think you do. And there's no way to not use the stack in a program, because just calling it a function is going to push those arguments to the stack, jump to the function's address, and then start executing. Well, I guess you could avoid any explicit usage of the heap. But yeah. All right, so this needs to be renamed. It's not exclude from tip consideration. We're just going to say is rare. And then up here, we'll write a comment for this. If true, excludes the items from tip considerations and makes it so that customers can't desire this specific item. So now is rare is in consider buying, right? Or buy item. Yes, it is. But what about desiring the item? Where do we do that? Seen item. Buy item, here it is. No, this is not what I want. Here it is. Seen item IDs equals get all seen items. How does this return none? Like, why is that blue potion showing up? I must be doing something. Small blue potion. Do we mark this as seen somewhere? We do. What, only in skip tutorial? Oh, interesting. So do we handle what happens when this does return none? Choose item. If it's none, go to wander. Wow, we do. Wow, this is pretty smart. Pretty neat. All right, so now we sample the list. We can't do that. We need to do dot where item ID all item data get this thing is not rare. Yeah, so now they'll never desire those items, and this shouldn't be included in tipping. But then when you save an item, we need to restore the is rare property. This type of game, if you're a competent programmer, none of the micro optimizations matter unless you're doing complex AI or other logic that requires CPU intensely. Are you responding to me, processor? Because the stuff about stack and heap was just, I was just talking to Puka. I wasn't talking about for a specific game or something. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what the motivation behind the question is. It could be purely academic, like, hey, it could be literally academic, like, hey, I'm studying CS and there's a question on this quiz and I don't understand the answer, something like that. So, yeah. Okay, totally fine, processor. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that sentiment as well. Like, don't focus on performance too soon. I think premature optimizations are a bad idea. But also, I don't know what the motivation of the question was exactly. So, yeah. Only item ID is saved. No need to account for that. Only item ID is saved, but then we deserialize the item using item converter. What does this do? Oh, this reads it from item data, which is going to work. Yeah. All right. Although we don't have a forwarder for that. Although we don't also have items for that, I guess. All right, let's just test the two things we need to test then. It should be done. Also, this was pretty fast, but adding the recycling druid is probably going to take longer. Also, we don't have a graphic for them. I don't know where they're going to be either. What was I going to do? We're going to add in a bunch of customers. We're going to increase the game speed. They should all just desire blue potions if we wait for long enough. Why do they take this long to want a blue potion? I have it set to always make them want it. Oh my God, I know why. Oh, it's because of how max customers works. Oh, this is stupid. Okay, the way we need to change this then is like so. We need to go to the town perk that increases the maximum number of customers. And we need to make it go to like 100 more customers. And then it'll work. Yeah. No, processor, I'm not trying to harp on you or something. Sorry, I hope it doesn't sound that way. And you did hear it from this stream. Yeah. All right, so now we click this once and we get another 100 customers in town, and they should pretty much all just want blue items immediately. Yeah, nice. Okay, so that's working how I intended for it to. But now what we're going to do is we're going to grant an ogre blood. Oops. Oh, that's an ogre blood. Okay, well, we got to redo that because I clicked the wrong button. Let's try that again. We do this. Let's grant the ogre blood first. So now it is an item that you have seen in your shop. And we're going to go make 1 million customers. And they should all just have blue potions that they want. Yes, all blue, right? Blue, 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 blue. Yep. Yeah. All right, perfect. Now when they tip, they should tip 12 gold and not like 100. So how much do they tip? 12. Perfect. Yeah. Start a bunch of these battles. I just want to see, can we satisfy these potion addicted customers? No, we cannot. They want more than we can offer. I was reading about caches and how they can put large chunks from the stack into cache, but it wasn't doing it for the heap as easily. I was wondering why they're both in RAM. Gotcha. Yeah. Druid is a good opportunity to add a non-human NPC. I wonder from a lore perspective what makes the most sense. Like, what if they were just a tree, for example? But then, like, how are they recycling the item? Maybe it's a slime. It's the recycling slime, and you actually put the item into the slime. I really like that idea. Oh, man. Maybe it's the recycling slime. Is there a pun on this? I can't think of one. Yeah. I like to hear someone talking. Yeah, I think it's really helpful. Just have some company. Also company that ideally doesn't modulate the volume so much. Some screamers, I said some screamers. Some streamers scream out there. I was watching someone play. Actually, I'm not going to give any identifying information. I was watching someone play a game yesterday, and they were just speaking like gibberish most of the time. It wasn't a different language. They were speaking English for some parts, but then otherwise it was just like random words and sounds coming out of their mouth. And I was like, why would people watch this? All right, we've coded this. That's all we need to do. Oh, I didn't try saving, but I don't see why there'd be a problem there. But we really should test saving. So let's slow this down. And then let's go make a bunch of ogre bloods. And then I have no way of saving the game now because I overrode the escape key to make ogre blood. Well, that was fun. The goat looking people. I was picturing like a night elf druid in my head. Is there a like something like this? But now I'm just picturing a happy slime that you stick items into and it just disintegrates the item. But maybe the slime could even increase in size as you put items in, but that's just cosmetic. And then it just eventually shrinks again. Like the snowball in Banjo-Tooie. What was I going to do? I was going to test this, but I need a different key to test this. Do we have any other keys I can use? Do we use page up somewhere? No. I think we can just use page up. Although it might be spelled out as page up and not pig up. But I don't know what it is. So let's filter by PG. Yeah, it is page up. Page up. Yeah, we don't use that. So let's use that. Unhandled input is going to be the code we used to have. And then for this, UI page up, and put that in there. I don't mind streamers who say emotes. If someone says that's really pog, that doesn't really bother me. I guess when it's literally gibberish. Like imagine making a bunch of nonsense sounds right now, like a baby might make. I found that very distracting. All right, so we're gonna add in some items. We got to make sure that this is in the shop. And then I got to save. And then when we load, we need to win a couple of the forest battles. Customers should want a bunch of items. Let's also build a town hall and get a bunch of customers in town and then speed this up. They should only have blue potions in there and they should not tip a ton of money. Good. It's working. Perfect. That was easy. How'd you do the pathing of the NPCs as they walk around? Like, how do you ensure they don't get stuck behind trees and stuff? This was all done via Godot's navigation agent. So the way this works is it applies a nav mesh to the scene and you specify what has collision. So we were to turn on the nav mesh, you'd see like a square around here that's broken up into vertices around these things. And then as long as there are walkable paths that exist, the NPCs will just follow them basically. It's very awkward. What's the closest thing to Pog that you could have recovered by saying, "Oh, I meant log." What does that mean? Just I'm really excited about trees. Okay, so we can revert this. What is this doing here? Oh yeah, add the rare item in. That's good. That's also good. None of this is good. We're gonna delete this thing too. Buy item. Sounds good. Consider buying. Revert this. So we fixed a bug I knew we had, and then we fixed a bug that I didn't even realize existed. So we fixed 2 bugs here. That's pretty good. Yeah. Allow manifesting rare items. The ogre blood is the first such rare item. Rare items are excluded from tip calculations so that they don't drastically skew how much money you make. And they can't be desired by customers. This was actually a bug in the game already. After seeing ogre blood, customers may want it, but it's really hard to get a second instance of it. The concept of wanting a rare item that you could get is interesting, but I don't think it's worth doing. For those who don't know, the ogre is a boss and it starts at level 1, and every time you beat it, it goes up in level. So eventually it'll hit level like 10 or something. Your adventurers can't even hit level 10. Level 7 is the max for you, but the enemies don't have a max level. So at some point, it's pretty much just impossible to beat them. And maybe there's some broken build in the game and you can get this to level 11 or something. But like I said, that number can't just keep going up infinitely because your power doesn't increase. So unless you found a truly invulnerable build, which would just be a bug in itself. So what this means is if the ogre drops ogre blood, then level 1, you're guaranteed to be able to beat them. And level 2, maybe you can eventually beat them, but maybe not in the current phase. And this drops down to impossible. So we could know that you're in this state, and we could make it so the customers might still want ogre blood, but it's just not worth it. And all for what? To give you a 3-minute timer on collecting something to get a bunch of money when you already would have gotten a bunch of money. So yeah, I don't think it's worthwhile. So this is done, and this is done. I also want to, yeah, I kind of want to do that. But yeah, the recycling druid, recycling slime. Definitely said lol out loud instead of laughing. had a roommate in college who, instead of saying BRB, would say it as burb and then leave the room. You like it or not, this is how language evolves. If Twitch streaming was 40 times as popular as it is, it might reach the mainstream and people might be saying that's so pog. Say bourbon voice chat. It is pretty fast. But yeah, the crafting building lets you stack up your enchantments. People will definitely grind to beat higher level elites. Yeah, and I like the concept of them wanting to beat the higher level elites. I just don't want there to be some task in the game that's sort of foisted on you that you don't find fun, and I don't think that one would be fun. He says lol. All right, so I kind of want to figure out, the very first thing is, what's the lore for the recycling character? The function for them is to take items you don't want, excuse me, don't want or can't use, and give you a tiny amount of money for them. So for example, let's say you have a 100 gold sword. You could scrap it for, I don't know, 10 gold. So that's a function. But what's the lore? So if it's a slime, the lore could be that it's just eating the item. If it's a druid, the lore is that they're somehow like returning the item to nature. I think it'd be less flavorful than just having a garbage slime. Garbage slime. Oh man. Yeah, I kind of want to retheme them as the garbage slime. And you just drag the item into them, and they're like a 2x2 animated sprite. How do you return items to nature? I don't know. Like, you disenchant it and its essence goes back to nature. That's what I'm saying. This is just lore. So we don't need to have a realistic explanation. It needs to be realistic in the universe of Skeleseller. So for example, there's already the enchanter in the game. When you put an item here, it just somehow disappears and magically fills up this crystal. So it's like, we don't really need a reason. I think that's already lore reason enough. Creator decided it was too online. I see. Yeah. They should have called it Skate Birds Aren't Real. I'm liking this idea more and more about just making a slime and it eats the item. And if you drag another item in, it could just animate that one disintegrating. Yeah. Would it look out of place? This is something you'd unlock pretty early. Okay, this is too much going on. Let's restart this. This is something you would unlock pretty early on in the game, and it would always be present. It's 2x2 too much. Recycling druid can be the crafter. Yeah, although at that point we would just call them the crafter probably. Yeah, I'm thinking we could put them like right here actually. That'd be kind of interesting. That way the items you don't want, you just drag over here. Although they need to be close enough to the shop so you can take them out of the shop. Why scrap the item instead of putting it for sale? A good example of why to scrap the item is you're getting too many items. So for example, at the beginning of the game, you can only hold one potion here. And you might have one that's about to disappear. And you're like, well, rather than have it disappear, I might as well get 1 gold from it. So you put it in the scrapper. Amount of code I can write in 1 business day now is insane. You know, Trackley, if I didn't know you were a real person, that would sound like an ad. But it's nice to hear this sort of thing is getting better. Yeah, I think I want to theme him as a slime. I think that's what we're going to do. Cute to get a dialogue like a hungry looking slime just showed up. Will you feed them? All right, I'm doing this. Do we have druid written here already? Yeah, make the recycler druid. Can you put markdown in titles? Can I do this? Garbage slime. I don't know about the name garbage slime. No, you can't do that. Or is it one? I just don't think you can do this. Yeah, you can't. Used to be recycler druid. Okay, so last bit that we need. The name of this thing. So there's garbage slime, just regular slime, I guess. Recycler slime. I kind of like garbage slime. It just eats whatever trash you have. I think I'm gonna call it that. Excuse me. Slime with hat. Garbage slime is precious. And what I'm picturing is a cutesy slime like the Dragon Quest slime. No, actually, no, I'm not. I'm picturing more like that, I guess. What does the Slime King look like in Terraria? Yeah, something like this, but I was thinking it would have eyes. Which I guess makes it pretty similar to this. I mean, how many different ways can you draw a slime? The blob. Yeah, like this. This is pretty cool. No dying? What? What, Jordy? The waste slime? Waste slime? Waste slime? Well, okay, that's the last thing we could potentially do. Yeah, I'm definitely leaning toward this, but we could try to come up with like a pun. You know what? Hey, Rami, let's see what AI can do. I'm making a character for Skeleseller that I'm currently calling the garbage slime. What did that say? Adventurers? Okay, sorry, just checking something. Its function is to take items you don't want, consume them, and spit out some money in return. Is there a pun-based name that we could use instead? Something that combines slime with garbage, recycling, or maybe money. Gelatinous rube. What? Manetti? What? Is that a thing? No. Slimanetti. Recycle pudding. Cashoplasm. Okay, that one's not bad. Splat bank. This is the worst. Fundamental slime. I do like cashoplasm though. Give me another 10. These aren't great. Splatinum. That's actually pretty good. Garbooze. These are getting better. Junk shuffler. What about that one? I like Garbooze. Can you give me 10 more? All right, then I'm done. We're just gonna call it the garbage slime, I think, unless this is like truly inspirational. No, these suck. What was the best one from the first one? Cashoplasm? Yeah, I think just garbage slime. Filth bucket. Planitor. Yeah, that is clever. But yeah, I'm not going to take something that was already done in another game. Okay, so yeah, garbage slime. Add the garbage slime. Sign should appear. Do we have the word druid written anywhere else here? Yeah, we do. Just find and replace it. In fact, let's just find and replace it in VS Code. Recycling druid. Garbage slime. There. Update. Okay, so add the garbage slime. A sign should appear. Then they should appear as an NPC next to the bin or pot. There's no bin or pot. It's just they are the bin or pot. It should appear as an NPC in the forest, as opposed to adding a special location for them. As opposed to adding a floor / building for them. Yeah. We can add a special location. Wipe out the floor beneath them. The bin or pot should get highlighted when you drag an item. Okay, yeah, so the slime should get highlighted when you drag an item. Drag an item to the slime. Should scrap the item. Maybe the NPC can give a dialogue about what they do. Show a sign to unlock it after an item disappears. Make the cost low enough that you can unlock it very early on. Should it even cost money? Maybe it costs 1 gold. Maybe it's 1G. Allow dragging items from a shop to a valid destination. Yeah. Make sure customers can't buy an item that you're dragging. There's one other piece of this puzzle, which is you should know how much you're going to scrap it for. When you're dragging an item near the slime should probably indicate how much money they're willing to give you when you scrap it. Yeah. You get a sense that it tickles. You're like stabbing a sword into the slime. The slime is like, this tastes good. And then it gives you some gold. Doesn't this mean that the slime has infinite money? I guess that's the only part I haven't thought about is how is it giving you money? It either means that it's incredibly wealthy or that it's somehow converting items into gold. I guess let's go with the latter. Its digestive system creates gold. Yeah, note. Lore reason for how the slime makes money. It's a product of its digestive system. Where can I unlock this perk in real life? I think you can just eat gold. Adding content sounds very gung ho. Yeah, I realize I probably should have put colon or something in there. Kind of like junk gunk. Was that one of the suggestions that showed up in the thing I had? Junk gunk. To me, it means that the slime wouldn't be as cutesy. It would look like a pile of trash. Yeah. You need a lore reason for why no one abducted the slime yet for their own profits? Because it's your town and you're protecting them. Money magically appears in your bank account. It's even funnier if you had a bank account that they're not even giving you a physical piece of gold. They're just somehow connected via API to a bank account. Raimi. All right, I think this is pretty good. We don't have a graphic for them, do we? We might actually have some Oryx graphics. We do have an Oryx slime graphic. We could probably just use that for right now. I eventually want a real graphic for this, but where are those graphics? Hang on a second, let me find them. I don't know where I put this. Hang on a second, it's gonna take me a little bit. Oh, here it is. Okay, that didn't take me as long as I thought. Because I already have the license to use these. Where's the creature thing? Yeah, So we have these two slimes. We also have the sort of gelatinous cubes down here. Do people like the circular one or the cubical one? Oh, it could have also been a mimic the whole time. In fact, now I'm kind of wondering about that. The cube one? Okay, we'll use one of the cube ones then. I guess as long as chat's voting, how about we do one more vote? Pick a color. Red, green, blue. Yeah, mimic. It eats your item. I don't think we have to worry about this too much because we can always just ask for a different graphic. As long as I'm just using a graphic from here, it's not going to change too much. Can we morph the round one into a cube when it absorbs an item? We probably can. Yeah, there's a lot of sort of polish things we can do about this. Green for recycling. Okay, well, green has the most votes. Okay, so then let's use the green one. Let's go find out where that even is. Sliced creatures. There is green one number 1 and green one number 2. Now we plop this in here. Assets, temp. Slime 1, slime 2. It should clearly be red. I would have voted for blue. Because this is going in the forest and I want there to be some contrast. But your votes aren't going to impact whatever the final graphic is. In fact, maybe I should write that this is a mimic. Maybe retheme this thing as the mimic, as a mimic that eats your items and spits out gold. Probably make more sense. I didn't think about contrast. It's fine. It's only going to look like however it does for the next week, probably. And then for the next checkpoint, it'll probably be different. Yeah, call it a recycler. Yeah, I think it should have a different name for sure. Not the graphic, though. Okay, so what is this thing? It's basically an NPC. Right? It's got an animated sprite. It's got a clickable area. Tooltip. I don't think I intended for this to even be there. Whoops. Does it need a tooltip? Does any NPC need a tooltip? I think I added this when I was testing things out and then just forgot that I put it in. Tooltip. Yeah, I don't think anything uses this. I don't think this will be missed. No, yeah. It's not a fake democracy. You're getting your green slime. Does the enchanter use it? I don't think so. I mean, I'm going to try deleting it, and if something used it, then we'll know. However, I'm a little worried about deleting it because this might have changed the inheriting scenes. So there are these 3. Can we open all of them? I don't know what that did. Did this break anything? I don't think so. Did it change? Yeah, I don't think so. Let's just see. If the enchanter looks correct, then I think we're fine, because the enchanter is the only one with a complex animation. No, I did not mean to click you. Did they change colors correctly? Yes, they do. Okay, this is just an animation for right now, but in the future we might make it so that it reflects the last crystal you activated. I think that could be kind of cool. Yeah. Yeah, I like the color shift. I think it's nice. I do think that right in between, like if I can take a picture right as it's transitioning, it's kind of grayish, which I don't like. So what we could do is we could fade in the new one before fading out the old one. Or something like that, so that you see a colorful one always. But anyway, I felt like it's so minor that I'm not even going to focus on it right now. Yeah, so all we did is delete this thing. Did this call a, what is that? That's fine. Yeah. So let's go check that in before I do anything. No, what is that? Yeah, it does just randomly delete stuff. God, doesn't that mean that this is going to be broken the first time this comes in? 1110. That means 0 alpha, but that's on the animated sprite. What is happening? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. If I self-modulate this down to 0, then it's going to show nothing. What if I put this back in? What does this do? It makes the blue one show up first. Yeah, because then this isn't showing. But then why didn't I see the blue one in the game? The animation takes 8 seconds to play. Maybe let's just pay close attention. No, it's definitely orange. That is... What's causing that? The animation player doesn't set the alpha. Well, I guess it has this right here. Is that what's doing that? If I make this pink, will it be pink at first? Because if so, then I understand what's going on. Yes. Okay, I understand. It's taking the first value from the animation player. I'm happy with that. I don't want it to be pink. I want it to be white. There we go. But that means that the modulate of this didn't actually need to be modified. So we can take that out. Is it out? Yes. Good. Cool. All right. That's fine. And let's make sure nothing broke with the guild master or with the what's the other NPC? Shopkeep. So I just start that. And did it change anything? Nope. Cool. Let's check that in. It was get rid of an errant tooltip. And this should say tooltip somewhere. Yep, right there. Yeah. Get rid of an unused tooltip. I was testing repros for a Godot bug and accidentally left this in. Make the alpha the lower color at 1 while the top color fades in. Yeah. Yeah, there are a few different things we could do for that. I think that when it comes to polish, you can even prioritize what's worth polishing. So for example, right now, signs don't have an outline. Like I'd say this is like high priority polish because this has some function. But then the enchanter shifts to grayish hues. This is always kind of going to be low priority. Polish as a whole is usually low priority. In that if you don't have a fun game, polish isn't going to fix it. But yeah, within it, I think we can prioritize. And I still think this would probably be pretty low priority. Then again, it might be easy to fix too. All right, so it's time to add Slim Slam the slime. Let's call it the recycler. And I guess we're going to make it an NPC. That's the whole reason I got sidetracked there. Because we want an outline. Yeah, we want all this stuff. Okay, well, let's do it. Wait, there's a reason why this happens, and I forgot what the reason is. Is it that the game is running? I forgot what causes this. Kevin told me about it a while ago. I want the other dialogue here. Oh, well, whatever. I'll just find it myself. NPC, where are you? There it is. So we're going to call you the recycler. And then save you as recycler. Doesn't work until you have a root. Okay, yeah, that's what it was. So how am I doing this that I sometimes have a root when I end up in that? I don't know. Slam, slim, slam the slime. Rami, do you know about the buffalo sentence? You can write the word buffalo any number of times, and it's a valid sentence. You do, yeah. Buffalo, buffalo, buffalo. There's a Wikipedia article that just says buffalo, 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 buffalo. Of course, your intonation, if you were trying to make this clear, would be like buffalo, 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 which would make it slightly clearer, but still not very clear. Anyway, sidetracks aside, we have the recycler. We need a script for them. This is currently just NPC. Let's detach and add a new one. Sounds like a good name. Let's now have a good namespace. Game scenes town. I know it was suggesting that, but it was suggesting a bunch of other things too. Yeah. Buffalo sauce too. I don't think that factors into this. I forgot what the word was. I guess it's any time there's a noun, a verb, and a proper noun. There's a place. Where's the abstract syntax tree? Or the... Oh, it's the picture, but I can't see the picture because of Dark Reader. Funny. Okay, so this slime is going to have a couple of graphics we got to go add in. How do we do this? New sprite frames. Then add in slime 1, slime 2. There and there. And then what's a good speed for this? That's too fast. That looks like it's really vying for your item right now. Maybe 3 frames per second. That's still too fast. 2. 1. Yeah, it's good. I like that. Okay, next we need this to be positioned probably 0, 0. Position's 8, 8. Actually, I guess its position doesn't really matter. We could just get rid of that. Where's its clickable area? It's the whole thing. That's probably fine. I do want this to be twice the size that it normally would be. Does that also scale up the collider? It does, but now it makes it a little too large, I think. So let's maybe shrink this. I think that's better. And that's that. Yeah, there's our recycler. If I let chat add Easter eggs to this game, we would have a bunch of just random nonsense going through town. All right, where do we put the recycler in town scene, I guess? Wander region, signs. Well, I guess first we'd start it as just a sign. Yeah, we'd make a recycler sign. We'd have to make it very obvious that the recycler is a thing though. But still, let's just ignore that for now. And let's just go find the recycler and put them here and see if they fit. Yeah, they fit. Unfortunately, we'll need to get rid of some of these trees, I think. Or we find a different place for now. Where will you fit? Where will you fit and not look super weird? I feel like it's got to be around this general area. We could maybe put them here. Below the portal. The thing is, I think you might want to drag items from your warehouse eventually, but for now, maybe, yeah, we put it here and we just call it a day. Hey, kid. The slime the size of a tree. Yeah, so let's put it here. And now let's go make a recycler sign. So do we have a specific sign for the enchanter sign? We do. I think we just do the same thing for the recycler sign. We have this inherit from presumably signpost, yeah. Okay. This doesn't work. Stupid, I'm deleting this. Signpost, where are you? Man, I don't know where anything is. Signpost.tscn. Game/scenes. So it's in here and I just can't. There it is. So hard to see from those previews. I should just have it show the names because I don't think those scene previews help me at all. All right, so this is going to be called the recycler sign. And I guess we need a different script. The enchanter sign had something special. Why? Well, the enchanter sign had a bunch of special stuff on it. What's the closest thing to this? It just unlocks an NPC and we're done. Isn't that pretty similar to the guild? Guild sign. What do? You do some very basic stuff. Yeah, all right, it's gonna be like that. So save this as the recycler sign. And then detach and attach. Something's amiss here too, isn't it? Yeah, this shouldn't be here. This is the only C# file in here, I think. Yep. Well, that was a mistake. All right, so I guess detach this, move this to the right location, which is where? Scene scripts, probably. Why is this not doing the thing where I can go into this folder? Source, scene scripts. All right, so recycler is now in there, which means the namespace should change. And then we need to attach it correctly over here. Done. Okay, now we add the sign. Recycler sign. Now we need to put it down here. Something like that. All right, give it a unique name. Sign.cs. Your mom and dad didn't warn you about enough signs, enough slime signs. Recycler sign. Having a conversation with the sign over here. Recycler sign. Yep. And I don't actually want to hide it at first. I think it should be visible at first. Okay, so we initialize all of these things. We got to save and load this properly. Is that written down? No. Sign/NPC properly. Hey, develop it. All right, and then none of this stuff exists. So let's copy paste all of this into the recycler sign. This doesn't have a namespace. I was hoping it would just type that out for me. It did not. No method for init takes 3 arguments. Cool. So this is not build guild. It's going to be like summon garbage slime. This is stupid. And it'll say garbage slime eats items to provide gold. Eats items in exchange for gold. Yeah, something like that. Eats items, poops gold. I don't want it to be that, like, I know it's not extremely crass, but I don't want it to be crass sounding. Recycler cost is going to be 1. It's going to be the cheapest thing in the game. Right, and then create recycler. Do we have the enchanter sign creating the enchanter? Yeah. All right, so over in town, create recycler. I missed your top tier pun. Ooze slime? Is that the pun? Because I don't understand. Yeah, I think you'll need to spell it out for me. The one before that. Oh. My bad. I thought that was a message you tagged develop it in and just mentioned my name. Gotcha. Sorry. Yes, I did miss that. So we're not going to clear the ground for this one. This is going to give us scene slash, I don't even know where the recycler is. It's in town, yeah. So give us the recycler scene. All right, then instantiate it. Recycler. Make it stop. Make it stop, chat. So we get the width and height in tiles. This is not a thing. This thing's just an animated sprite. It's just an NPC. Oh, I don't know if you can get the size of a canvas group. Maybe you can. You can't. What does it think recycler is? Thinks it's it. Oh, it doesn't think it's anything. Shouldn't this be an NPC? Indeed. How you doing? What you working on today? Hey, Warner. I'm working on, well, I was working on game balance, but then so I feel like balance and playtesting need to go hand in hand. And in playtesting, there was a particular NPC I wanted to make, which we're now calling the garbage slime. So you get items in the game, and maybe you get a potion and it's worth 5 gold. You could put it in the garbage slime if you want, and you might get like 1 gold. And the reason why you might do this is because you just need space in your town, or there's an item you're not selling for some reason. So there are a couple of cases where you might want this. So I think this is a nice convenience thing to add. So anyway, that's what we're adding right now is the garbage slime. So we went and made, where is it? Yeah, we went and made the slime. Oh, also this should probably be set to autoplay if it's not already. Yeah. Well, the points are now new points, so it should be okay. So there's no size on canvas group though. That's a problem, right? Oh wait, oh, it's this. Yeah, there apparently is not. An NPC is a canvas group. A canvas group doesn't have a size. Is there a way to get the size from something here? There's no minimum size thing. I don't know what even has that. How are you doing today, Warner? When do you normally get your game dev time in? I know you said it's like once a month, but I'm guessing it's not consistent. So it's like whenever you find the time, maybe. What in Godot has a size? Get size of node. I guess sprites and stuff do. Yeah, we could use that. We could say give us the animated sprite in here. I'm not actually concerned about this too much though. I think we're just going to position them where the sign is roughly and then just manually nudge them in a particular direction. I don't think it's going to cause any problems. So instead of this width in tiles and height in tiles, just set the position to wherever the sign was. Recycler sign, which by the way does not exist like that. So now we need to go change that to be this. And then public. And then a get private set. And then bump that down to here. Yesterday I had to stay up pretty late. Slept like 3 hours. Whoa, had some server issues and a platform I manage, and I feel like a zombie. Can you just sleep now? Can I sing you a lullaby? Rami, okay. I appreciate the signing off. I hope you have a good evening, Rami. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for wowing our lives. Signal us if you need anything. Make it stop, chat. Make it stop. So what if we just position them at the sign and not do anything else? Then add, I don't even know why we do this, but fine, add the recycler. Rebake the navigation mesh. That's not even needed. There's no collision for this thing. I don't think there's a problem here. Recycler doesn't contain a definition for init. That seems wrong. Fine, let's delete that. Recycler sign. We don't need this. We don't need this. Clearing the ground we're not going to do. So it's going to be just this simple function. Let's go try it out. Woke up and I'm back fixing issues. We had a presentation like 4 days and we're in crunch mode. Oh, crunch mode. Just don't do the presentation. Just tell your boss, I'm not doing that. I'm sleeping instead. They'll be like, okay. And that's it. That's how it'll go. There will be no repercussions. No performance review impact. The company's going to make even more money because they'll be like, wow, they're arrested employees of that company. All right, this kind of works. I just want to subtract maybe like 1616 around this. And as mentioned, I'm doing this in a very ad hoc way, and I'm totally fine with that. So this is going to be like -16, -16. I know we can just subtract a positive 1616 vector. It doesn't make a difference. It would be kind of cool. Okay, so there's that movie, The Purge, right? Where it's like, oh, all crimes are now legal or there'll be no repercussions or something. It'd be kind of cool if you had once a year, like a no repercussions for something that isn't a crime. So in this case, it could be like, oh, I don't want to do the presentation. And you're just like, okay, well, turn in your once a year card and that's fine. Except there somehow need to be a system where you only have one card to spend in the whole year across everybody. So your boss takes the card and then now you can't use it when you, I don't know, want to pick a certain restaurant for all your friends to go to. Most of my stuff got fixed yesterday. I also can't sleep again once I wake up. That's why too, I see. So it's an impossibility. It's just zombie mode now for the rest of the day. Well, look, I hope the presentation goes well, and I hope your work isn't too bad in the next 4 days and even longer thereafter. Also, I kind of feel like, and maybe this is unrealistic given your employer, maybe not, but after a crunch mode or crunch time, that there's like a relaxation time. And maybe it's like take a day or two off and not have to count it as vacation. And then I think it's a little bit more fair. Should be able to earn new cards by crunching. New cards. Sounds like a reference to something I said in another stream, but I don't think you would have been there in that stream. All right, so there's a recycler druid, garbage slime. Yeah, maybe don't subtract quite as much, but I think it's pretty much fine. Okay, and there's already an outline around it. Clicking it does nothing. Does it cause an error? No, it doesn't. Oh, I see. Yeah, sorry. Gotcha, games. I just totally blanked out. I'm getting pretty hungry, actually. Never asked you back years when you didn't stream. Did you went back to a full-time job? Yeah, I was working at Google for 3 years. 3 years and 1 day. I much prefer doing what I'm doing now. Card is an interesting term. Well, I was thinking of it as like a get out of jail free card, that sort of thing. Yeah. I don't think I ever said those words though. All right, so here's the recycling slime. This looks kind of stupid. Because if you're ever watching the game, well, it looks kind of stupid because it's got a giant black outline around it. So it doesn't match the other sprites. But still, if you're ever watching the game, someone else play this, you'd be like, why is there a slime just chilling there in the forest? So I do think it should be 2x2. This is 50% bigger than it should be, but we can't shrink it without having different graphics in it, I guess. Did I save money and decide to come back doing my own stuff? What's the plan, if I may ask, of course? No, that's totally fine. Yeah, I saved money. I had an agreement with my wife that 2024 is a year to just do whatever I want. in terms of streaming and everything. So I'm not focusing on money right now. But in 2025, there will be some monetary expectation. I don't know exactly what it's going to be. I've got to talk to her again about this and figure out what works for us. This year, by the end of this year, I'll probably have made about maybe like $8,000 or $9,000 in total from everything, which is really, really bad because minimum wage would have been, well, minimum wage here is like $20 an hour, and it's what, 2,000 hours for a typical work year. So yeah, like 40K. Yeah, so I'm making about a quarter of that, I guess. So next year, if I like put the pedal to the metal and I don't know, streamed more, tried sort of upping the amount of money from what I'm doing normally, I think it'd be easy to hit probably like 15K, but then I think it'd be hard to go beyond that. So I'd probably need to start looking at courses or yeah, selling the game, that sort of thing. Why is there a slime chill in the forest? We're making the recycling character, which is the garbage slime. So we got to add a click handler. We got to add all the functionality to it. I think that's all post-lunch stuff. Drag an item, go to dialogue, drag near it, show the sign to unlock the garbage slime. And it disappears for the first time. That we haven't done yet. And the cost low enough. I mean, that's done. Yeah, so this is what we'll work on in the afternoon, I think. I'll just chat for a little bit right now. I want to get lunch though. Minimum wage is 20. Yeah, I think we have the highest minimum wage in the country. What is it? Okay, it wasn't quite 20, apparently. It's 1997. Also, it's technically for Seattle proper. But still, yeah, minimum wage is pretty high here. Hopefully we get more than that. Always been an amazing stream. Well, thanks, Warner. Yeah, I think a couple of things here. One is that if I were just trying to do streaming for money, I would not be doing it the way that I'm doing it now. I'd be looking for sponsorships and I'd be looking to grow my audience. So the only thing that's been worrying me a little bit about the audience lately is I think it's been shrinking lately, which I think is a problem. I don't mind if it doesn't grow. I don't mind if people aren't more active, but I think if it's shrinking, I will eventually lose some of the benefits that I have by even having an audience. So one is just company, two is some like advice and input, and three is eventually kind of finding sort of co-workers and sort of building out a community. I think these are other aspects of this. But then there is the marketing aspect as well. I've like back in the day when the stream was growing, it got to a point where I couldn't interact with everybody anymore. And now I've sort of changed how I've interacted and I've clearly made it so that productivity is the goal. I still talk to people. I'm talking right now. I still interact with people and I still did some other forms of content, but it's like if we like met in real life, I'd be a very different person. I'd be asking people about like, hey, what's going on with your life? What's going on with your hobbies? What are you looking forward to? And I can only ask snippets of that here without fully derailing my train of thought. Anyway, that's if I were doing streaming for money. If I were doing other things for money, it would be probably trying to make courses, maybe some kind of consulting work. Yeah, maybe game dev, but for money. So I'd probably change how I'm monetizing the games. I think there's a good balance now. You know, it's funny because I have been streaming since 2015. And yeah, there was a 3-year break for Google. But back in the 2015 to like 2018 time, a couple of kind of interesting things happened. When I would get rated, I would just enter like a chat mode and not be productive anymore. And people actually vocally complained about, oh, hey, what do you actually do on the stream? Like, you're just chatting now. Or when are you going to get back to coding? And looking back, I probably shouldn't have cared too much. It's like if people wanted to chat, I should have just chatted at the time. But anyway, now I feel like I've been going kind of the opposite direction and it's been productivity most of the time. And I looked at my stats the other day and it said like number of unique chatters was, I think, like 20, which is, I think that's pretty low. By the way I would grow my audience is probably like focus on YouTube some more. I know that sounds weird, but it would actually help me grow my Twitch audience. I'm not pulling people in. And software and game dev as a category just doesn't have the people on it really. Let me take a look. Categories. Yeah, right now it's at 3,000, which is it's just not a lot. It's like how many people are looking for new streams. Sort on the subject of life and career, looking at manager versus individual IC tracks. I prefer the puzzle solving, not the overhead of managing with IC, but the manager job I'm a candidate for right now looks promising, and have their own thoughts. This is one of those things that I don't think that you can get an idea of whether you'll like it until you've done it. And ideally you can do it in some like small capacity first. Maybe you have like 1 to 2 reports. But most people don't get that opportunity, and it's just like you're either a manager or not a manager. And when you are a manager, it's you're getting somewhere like 5 to 15 reports. And I will say this, I feel like I've seen more people go from manager back to IC than I've seen go from IC to manager. I feel like that can't be possible. Maybe it just stands out more in my head, but I have seen people who are like, I do not want to do management. I want to go back to IC. But I think the company size really matters. I was talking about this earlier, but when you have a bigger company, you have more process. And when you have more process, you have more that a manager needs to follow and enforce. And that's not necessarily fun. But it all depends on what you find exhilarating, what you find gratifying. As a manager, if you count the impact of your team, your impact is higher than as one person. You will get more done because you will have more people to do those things. And if you're a good manager, you'll inspire your team and you'll manage them in a way that actually gets results. That's your job. So that impact can be nice, but then you're not as hands-on anymore. And also you're probably in a lot more meetings too. Yeah, slide. Game Dev dunked a couple of years ago. Well, I think a few things happened. I don't know what Twitch's viewership has been, but I suspect that it has lowered a bit in recent years. And I think it's a combination of probably many different factors, so it's kind of hard to say exactly. But I think it's like just streaming isn't new anymore. Everyone has probably at least heard of streaming, even if you don't watch streams, and you've probably checked out some streams. Obviously, everyone here is watching this stream, so you must know that you like watching streams. But I think part of it has to do with what are other platforms doing. And it's like TikTok has streaming now. Instagram, I'm pretty sure, has streaming now. Like Facebook has streaming, and it's just spread out more. Kick is now a thing. Like, I know Mixer died. But as far as watching game dev, like think of what the appeal is for an average person watching this stream. Like if you don't know how to code, how often are you actually seeing me make a visual change to the game? Like, sure, I just added the slime to the game, but now the next like 6 tasks I'm going to work on are going to be making it functional, which is going to be mostly code. Most people probably don't care too much about that. People don't appreciate the slow and careful process of software dev. They're looking for quick thrills. Yeah, but I think that's always been the case. And I think, yeah, anyway, I think this has an impact on growth and everything. But that plays into the monetization of my entire life. It's like if I did want to just stream, then I need to get sponsors. I need to grow the audience. Yeah. Excuse me. Also, hey, Hef. Similar to painting streams, similar to any stream that involves watching a skilled practitioner. I don't think it's the same. I think if you're doing something that's more visual than not, then there can be an audience for it that can appreciate it. And then, yes, there's a pacing difference. But if you're painting, then everything you're doing can be at least visually appreciated. Whereas when you see me do something like this, I write this function, create recycler. Some people are going to be like, what even is this? Like, I don't know what a function is. I don't understand any of this nonsense. And then even if you do understand coding, you might be like, well, I don't understand it in the context of this game. What is the recycler? And where's the scene going and what is it doing? So it is much harder to follow. If I were making the game, I don't know, let's say we were just at the polish phase, I think there'd be more people watching. And like I said, I've been streaming for long enough to have tried different projects and I've watched this play out. When I work on back end, there might be like X viewers. When I work on front end, there's usually like X times something, like 1.5, maybe X times 2. It's just easier for people to understand this, and more people are doing this themselves a lot of the time. Not paying enough attention to code to keep up. Wanted to return to streaming, work on my game. Haven't been able to do either of them. Swamped with main work in life. If I ever managed to get some funding for my game, I'll totally come back. Never ending cycle. Can't make progress on my game if I don't have time. Yeah. Yeah. And you've also got a lot going on right now too. I mean, just family obligations are there. I think it's hard to add on when you're already at your equilibrium point. You found your work-life balance and your life balance, like life needs versus hobby balance, I guess. To kind of very distant or limited pairing. A pairing of what? Maybe I'm not following that exactly. Anyway, I don't really see that we're on a bad path or anything here. Like I said, it's hard to say what the timeline for Skeleseller is. Like maybe the game launches in April or something. I don't know. And I don't want to keep pushing this forever. But April will mark the 1 year point. And 1 year to like pump out a game, I'd say is pretty fast. But yeah, what happens after that? How much money does Skeleseller pull in? Also, man, it's a little disheartening looking at like the AAA game monetization, I gotta say. Like Blizzard just announced some game is gonna appear on their store, but it's made by Obsidian. I don't remember the name of the game, but I looked at the monetization and it was like $50 base edition and $80 collector's edition. And I don't know what the collector's edition offers. I don't even know what this game is, but like that's an extra $30. If I charge $10 for my game, they're basically having like 3 extra game sales by having this collector's edition. Obsidian's owned by Microsoft? Oh, interesting. Avowed, yeah. Okay. Well, this isn't even the worst of it, by the way. The worst is the microtransactions. And not from the point of view that other people are talking about, but just from a point of view of like how much money you could stand to make by having these and then starting to rely on whales playing your game. And for Skeleseller, I wanted it to be like the fairest thing possible. You spend somewhere about $10, I don't know. You pay once, and that's it. There are no other purchases. So even if you wanted to spend money, you couldn't. And people were saying things like, okay, what if you offered like a $10 like get a golden skeleton in a game or something? It's purely cosmetic. It's a single player game, so people know that this is just for laughs. And like, okay, fine, I could maybe do something like that. But yeah, it's just sad when you think of like what kind of monetization ceiling have I crammed myself into with this? 10 is low. I'd aim for 20, so you can constantly do discounts. Yeah, I'll need to think about it closer to launch, and I'll need to do some research specifically on that, and I haven't done that yet. Yeah, too many young folks willing to spend their parents' money, so the companies get away with these tactics. It's not even just young folks. I myself, okay, so when I play a free to play game, like I played Hearthstone for a while, maybe about a year or 2 years, I don't know. But it's free to play. So you can play forever and not spend any money. I play it such that I'm not spending any money. So I didn't spend a single dime on any part of Hearthstone and played for a long time. I didn't feel like I was lacking anything. And I try to approach every free to play game that way pretty much. But then obviously Hearthstone is still around, it's successful. And I see people talking about this stuff and they're like, yeah, I'll spend $20 when I like a new expansion or something. And to me, it was just, it's such an alien idea. And it's not even that crazy, right? It's spend money on a game you're playing for hours every day. But for whatever reason, I just don't do that. So yeah, I don't think it's entirely just young folks. I think it's also people who are like, you know what, I'm working. There's a little bit of a hurdle here. I'll just jump over the hurdle by spending some money. And I guess in a similar idea, World of Warcraft, way back in the day, you leveled from 1 to 60, and that was it. That's the only way you could get to 60. Now there's like a boost your character, and it costs whatever, I don't know, $20 or something. Gonna list the soundtrack on Steam. I like the idea of the soundtrack being free, especially given that it's not like the most professional sounding soundtrack. I think getting chat involved is the best way, and my favorite streamer does this. Yeah. I found your stream to be incredibly compelling because of its sometimes sporadic nature. I also see a ton of traction and marketable branding around the life debugging, live consulting you do. Definitely a fan of the spectrum of topics. Well, thanks, Inza. Oh, Inzader. Inzader Vim. Gotcha. um, yeah, I appreciate that. And like I said, I have a goal, and then viewers have a goal. And viewers, it's typically going to be either entertainment, education, company, probably one of these three. And my goal is generally like productivity first, and then entertain, and also have company and all this other stuff. But this is by far the biggest goal. So there's a certain amount I'm willing to let this stream contract and not see it as a problem. But if I had like 10 average viewers, I think that would be a problem. So then I'd probably be like, all right, time to make a push on YouTube or something. If a company makes a product that you really appreciate, I see no problem voting with your money. Yeah, I don't see a problem with that either. I just, for whatever reason, I don't do it. But I don't take a stance that like no one should do it or that I'm definitely opposed to it. I just like the idea of sort of gaming a system by not having spent money on it. I mean, you did get one YouTube view. Yeah, that's true. Hey, Caleb. Well, Caleb's here. That means it's lunchtime, everybody. I'm not going to just bail immediately, but it is almost lunchtime. Thank you for the resub, Caleb. You are now over a year. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I was just chatting for a bit, and I am going to get lunch pretty soon. It is 12:13. Yeah. This afternoon, by the way, is going to be working on the garbage slime. And then any extra time will be spent toward balancing and content. Next week is going to be all of the new player stuff that might happen. And we're going to focus a lot on guidance. So picture like tips, tutorials, to whatever, just things that attract your attention. Because on Friday of next week, so 1 week from today, in fact, slightly less than 168 hours from now, probably 166 hours from now, you're going to be able to play this new version of the game for free. And the reason why it is free is because I would really like people's feedback. So that is how you can pay for it if you'd like to, is just click this button in the game when you finally play it. But yeah, you'll be able to try out the new... Did we add a new adventure? Maybe we didn't. Anyway, all the new stuff that we've added, though. Things like the garbage slime and the enchanter and different quests and progression and all the little quality of life things that have been done. So I'm very, very much looking forward to that. We've been working really hard toward that goal. Do you want to watch anyone play? I've been doing user research sessions here and there. So I still need more people, and I've got a few who've offered to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 6 people who've offered that I know in real life. I eventually want to find returning players and probably research some of how they play too. But anyway, for this next session, or next checkpoint, I think we should be pretty much good. Anyway, I need to get food. So thank you all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. I'll be back in about an hour, and then we'll stream for another probably 2 or 3. Generally, the afternoon streams are a little shorter because I've been tending to cram more time into the morning streams. But yeah, I hope you all have a good day. And if I don't see you again, have a good weekend too. And take care.